Hello everyone and welcome to episode 142 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week I'm joined by Jake.
Hello.
And Shane.
Yo, yo.
Fantastic to have you guys here. We've got a lot to talk about this week. TGS happened, we've been playing a lot of games, we got a lot of questions. As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Come say hi, Xbox Hall of Gamers on Twitch. You can come hang out in the chat, give us your Prime subs. Ask us questions. We try to interact with the chat as much as we can. But let's get straight into our community questions. We got one here from our good friend Zach, Zemnis, who says, hi, I have a general question. How much is too much for the price of a console on release day?
$700.
Yeah, let's say, what's PS5 Pro? That
$700 is too much.
It's
$600 is
yeah.
probably too much, honestly. $600 US is probably too much.
Yeah.
I think $500 is that sweet spot.
Alison in the chat says 1,200 AUD. Yeah, exactly. That's
also yes.
It's a lot of money. Yeah,
Yeah, I think 500 was that sweet spot where you could, because obviously the benefit of a console was you don't have to mess with a PC. Like, you just buy the unit and you're playing games. You're off to the races. Now you're getting in this territory of the value proposition between a console and a PC is just it's harder to make that exception. I feel like at $700.
Yeah,
They're trying to encroach on the whole Apple model of the incremental upgrades and having to upgrade at all, really. I mean, we've always had the mid-generation refreshes, but it seems really egregious this time.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's just especially with what you're getting. It doesn't seem like a 1-to-1X. It feels like a 1-to-1S situation. Like, you just get your high frame rate and your ray tracing, which is that's cool. And I'm the target audience for this kind of thing. And even I'm just at that price, I'm not interested.
Yeah, it was you jump this, but most people, I don't know. I wonder how much of the thinking goes into that. People buy it. Good enough. Make it. I mean, there's no way they're trying to hit a big market for these kinds of things.
Yeah.
I mean, this one especially not.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
It does feel like a niche within a niche, right? And it's funny you mentioned the kind of them taking on the Apple model, considering how bad the iPhone 16 has been doing. Apparently, they picked a real bad fucking time to be like, "Hey, we're going to do the incremental upgrade thing."
I feel like that's finally falling off a little bit.
Yeah.
You can only upgrade so much until the upgrades are so. What's the word I'm looking for? They don't
insignificant.
Hit the same. Yeah, it's significant. They're just not as wow, what a difference, what a change,
Yeah.
It is funny because they've been talking about this PS5 Pro thing has been kind of an open secret for quite a while. Been a lot of developers talking about it, and they're bringing it out, and the only two things people are talking about are the price and how little of a difference the stuff they showed seems to actually make.
Yeah, I mean, they showed the console, and then they showed 4- and 5-year-old games. That's not
and
impressive.
Most people couldn't see the difference in them, to be honest. And to be fair, I mean, yes, you watched it on YouTube, so it's obviously compressed, and I'm sure it looked really nice on a big TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to be some kind of technophile to be really into thinking, what, now's the time to upgrade if you have a PS5 already.
Yeah, if you really want to up your fidelity game, honestly, don't invest $700 in a console. Invest $700 in a TV. Just get a really nice TV, and that'll make way more difference than going from a PS5 to a PS5 Pro will.
Yeah, I just looked up the price here in New Zealand. It's $1,379 New Zealand if you want to get one of these things, which is crazy.
Easy stuff.
It's insane.
Yeah,
but you get ray tracing.
I was shown the the 30th anniversary, and I was like, that might be what does it. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that might be where I would get it, but they're only printing 12,000 units.
That should be the standard. Yeah, it's crazy. And scalpers, of course, are just pre-ordered all of them
Yeah,
anyway.
so it's sold out in 5 minutes, obviously. And I didn't even know, like I saw it and I was like, I should look into when this goes live, expecting it to like there to be a little bit notice, but I feel like I was told about it, I was shown it, and then 2 days later, somebody's like, "Oh, did you see the 30th anniversary one on sale today?" I was like, "Oh no, that's
it's
like
so pretty
came
though.
and went." It is. It's such a cool looking system, and I would have done the 700 for that, just because it's like a limited cool. You know, there's a little more to it to add to the value, I guess, of it. It's a collector's item, you could say, but just like a basic PS5 Pro is not worth $700.
I mean, look, I haven't owned a PlayStation console since the PS2, and
Same.
you know, and I've been tempted, like,
Same.
yeah, man. Probably gonna press X to doubt on that one.
Xbox till I die. I bleed Xbox green, buddy.
Yep. It's nothing like being loyal to a giant conglomerate that's buying everything up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've been tempted, and I think like the PS4 Pro was probably the moment where I was like, oh, maybe it's actually not a bad idea, because there are a few exclusives that I was interested in, and the price point was right. It wasn't too much more than what the base model was when it came out, and I guess the difference this generation is console prices were going down every previous generation. These ones, they're going up. Like if you bought even like a Series X or a PlayStation 5 at launch, you're probably better off than if you bought one today. Which is like
I
crazy to think
mean,
about.
there were regions where the PS5 did get a price hike. I don't know what to expect of it, I guess, going forward. Like, are we just in a really shitty economic time? Are these companies just making the absolute worst decisions, being too greedy? Or is this like the new norm? Is this what we should start to expect from the console market going forward?
Yes.
It's just like to the last one?
No, but yes to all that.
Yeah.
No, but yes to all that. Fair enough. Yeah, so it's interesting. I hope it bites them in the ass so that it doesn't become the norm, because it will only become the norm if they see the value in it. Like if
People
if
buy
they
it.
make enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I really hope it flops,
Yeah, Jake,
to be honest.
don't buy one.
I'm not buying one. I'm not. I swear
Good.
you haven't.
Don't.
I've already made my peace with not getting a PS5 Pro. I know I'm like the target audience. Gotta have the best thing all the time. This one is I'm taking. It's a moral thing or an ethics thing at this point. Like,
I'm also just not in that fucking tax bracket. I'll be honest. Like, that's just, where I'm just like I built a semi decent PC earlier this year. I really can't justify, for the very few exclusives the PS5 has, to then also whittle that down to the ones that actually use the PS5 Pro technology.
No kidding.
Like, I'm not an early adopter by any means, as much as I am obviously an Xbox evangelist, just because of, I mean, we're on an Xbox podcast right now, so I think that probably puts us in a bit of a minority. But even then, I didn't buy the Xbox One for years when it first came out, and I wouldn't have bought the Series X if I didn't win one in that competition. Probably until maybe a year or two ago. Like, the idea of like half-step consoles to me are just kind of insane, considering how many games I got left to play, and like that you have the chicken and egg thing of like, well, no one buys the console, so no one develops for it, but because there are no games for it, no one buys the console. And
I definitely didn't buy a Series S day one, and then a Series X day one, and then
same here.
Excuse me, a 1S day one, and then a 1X day one, and then a Series X day one. And
I'm just more patient.
Yeah, I had the one day one.
I had the one day one too.
I also won a competition to get one of the day one Xbox Ones, but that didn't fucking show up, as people, long time listeners.
What's with you in winning consoles, dude?
I'm fucking great at video games.
Lucky
Have you
you.
met me? I'm a fucking mensch when it comes to like weaponizing this debilitating completionist mindset that I have when it comes to winning something. When it comes to a competition, I mean,
Xbox support loves you.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So yeah, well, thanks to
if it was $500, I would have bought one.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where you're like,
for sure.
if they were like, hey, we're gonna take a loss on this, which is what they used to do on consoles. They don't do that anymore. I might consider it, considering I don't
Apparently.
have a PS5. And I was like, well, if this is where I'm going to jump onto it, if they can get it to close to the price of the PS5, then yeah, sure, you know.
Yeah.
But this is, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. For sure.
But to Zemnis's question, I'm also like, when the next Xbox comes out, I'm probably not jumping on that day one either, because I'm sure that's going to be exorbitantly expensive too. Like
Yeah, that's a concern I have now is the Xbox Series X2, is the Xbox 720
sure
gonna be $700?
Someday they gotta make that console, man.
They really
just,
do.
Even if it's for the lulz, like just do it.
The Xbox 720, man.
Even if it's like a special edition, like the next Xbox does have a special edition that says
yeah, the
720 on it.
720
Just,
edition.
just do
Yeah,
it.
I'd buy it. To be fair,
I think I'm
that's
just
what will get
gonna-
me to buy. The meme will get me to buy something.
Yeah. I think that's just how I'm just never gonna refer to the undisclosed next Xbox consoles anything other than the Xbox 720 ever again.
Yeah.
I think that's just like stapled now in my lexicon forever.
Well, to be fair, I mean, they can't do much worse when they're naming schemes than what they've already done, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, one and series are both
Fucking
just make no sense to
terrible.
me.
Yeah.
I get the series thing. They're doing like the Samsung thing, kinda like phone. They're trying to do a phone thing with it.
The phone or
But
Tesla
it's
thing
dumb.
or whatever. Yeah, but I think that
Yeah.
they're not in a position to be like that doesn't work
Yeah.
for them, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That was another point I was going to make about the PlayStation thing. Is like they're doing the iPhone thing. It's like, well, you're in a totally different space, man. You have a totally different demographic.
Yeah.
Like,
But I guess the
What drives
thing
me
is,
nuts is I hate that everyone. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I really feel like they want to be in that space because they're like, this is where the money's made, and they basically want to try and force it on the consumers, and I don't think it's going to work out super well for them.
no, I don't think it's going to work either. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Imagine a world where
See,
they're releasing a PlayStation and an Xbox every year. Imagine.
Then you just buy
see,
PC.
follow me on this. This feels like heading into PS3 era Sony, where
Yeah.
they're on top. They just think they're invincible, and they're gonna start making these dumb, questionable decisions. And
Yeah.
we'll see. The PS6 is gonna have a special architecture that's super hard to program for or something, and
The Cell
That's-
2
I mean,
processor.
we'll be right back where it was.
I mean, it's both of them, right? 360 was on top of the world, and then they just flubbed it with the Xbox One. PS4,
God, that
Sony
launch.
was like golden goose, couldn't do no wrong, and now they're just like it feels like they're constantly making terrible decisions. I was scrolling the socials, and I saw an interview with somebody from in Sony internal, and they said Concord was talked about as, quote, the future of PlayStation, unquote, which is a horrifying, stark future for PlayStation if that is the case. Like, they're just fucking up bad.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the news, but there was, again, because it's a rumor and it's sort of, but Colin Moriarty put out a thing basically saying that Concord apparently cost them 400 million total. Maybe not to Sony, but 400 million total to make.
Yep.
Not sure what the split is between, at least 200 million for Sony, and then the other 200 million is kind of up in the air in terms of if it was the original publishers or if it was Sony involved. But yeah, like you said, Jake, that they've
Yeah, this is getting to like Virtual Boy level bad.
that's
Like
crazy, right?
they bombed.
Yeah, that was rough. And if that's the future of PlayStation,
Yikes.
oof.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about the PS3 era, Jack, because I remember in AHA when the price got posted, I just dropped in that wonderful compilation of the E3 2006 PlayStation 3 reveal announcement, which is just early 2000s meme central, just so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it really does. It does feel like history just continues to repeat itself.
Yeah. And now Xbox is taking nothing but W's with this Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
Not that we're there yet in the news, but we have questions to go through. But like, yeah, I don't think Microsoft's Xbox is particularly in like the shining spot ever.
No,
Obviously,
definitely
they're obviously like way behind in sales. But like, I feel like other than the subscription tiers, Microsoft hasn't done something that made me roll my eyes in a while.
Yeah, outside of like Tango Gameworks maybe, but
Yeah, that too.
but I
Wow,
get it.
that's the industry. To be fair,
That is, like to be
Yeah.
fair, like it's fucking insane out there.
And it sounds like the Tango guys are finding success elsewhere too,
Yes,
which is
yeah,
good.
we sort of talked
I
about,
hope so.
talked about that last week. With they're basically apparently not expected to make any money on their next game. So I'm sure that's some pressure off their back. I don't think that's true at all, but that's what the head of their publisher said. So
Yeah. So they'll be all right.
we have another question here from Stubby, a good friend of the show, who says, you can recommend 2 games that you believe everyone must try in their lifetime. They don't have to be current, and they can be from your childhood or from any device. What are games that had the biggest impact on you? Which is fucking Sophie's choice right here, but...
Super
Speaking of
Smash
Tokyo's game
Bros.
show,
Melee
Melee's a great
Legend of
choice.
Mana.
Yeah.
probably had the biggest impact on my gaming life.
God, Melee was a good time, man.
And
Jeez.
can't think of a second right now, so somebody else go. I'm gonna think.
Legend of Mana.
Yeah, what is this? Yeah. Actually, funnily enough, there's like Sega Densetsu 3 is one of those ones that I like. It's probably a runner-up for me in terms of like playing it on the SNES or the emulator and just being like, I don't know, like I got a really badly translated because again, it never released in.
Oh man, that's all you could play it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was like someone was like, "Oh," I was like, "Man, this Secret of Mana game's great." And they're like, "There's a sequel, right?" I'm like, "Oh, where?" And they're like, "Oh, it's only in Japan. It's Japan only." I was like, "Oh, what?" And they're like, "Yeah, but here's a hack together ROM where someone's done some really bad translations of it." And I'm like, "This is the greatest game I've ever played in my entire life."
Seiken Densetsu 3 might be one of the first games where I was like, there's games in Japan that aren't here.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
because I love Secret of Mana and Secret of Evermore, which no one ever talks about. And
Great game.
yeah, and then I was like, oh, Seiken Densetsu 3, well, this is so neat. I played like 5 minutes of it, like, okay, well, I'm over this, but
yeah. I remember because I hadn't put 2 and 2 together that the new one that just came out is Sega Densetsu 3 because the Mana series is all kind of weird because the original one was a Final Fantasy game or whatever. But and so I was like, wait a minute, that character on the front looks kind of familiar, and I was like, huh. And I looked it up. I was like, oh fuck, this actually is. Oh shit. Okay, nostalgic heart. I'm definitely gonna have to play this.
oh yeah.
They need to release the original as well, actually.
That was sick.
Nowadays it's called Sword of Mana, I believe.
Sword of Mana. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, instead of Final Fantasy Adventures, it's like Sword of Mana, Secret, Trials. I forget what
Sword
the
of
4th one
Mana.
is, and then Legend.
Visions is the next one, right? Because that's 4.
That's right.
Yeah, then
I just bought Sword of Mana on the Game Boy.
I feel like
Advance,
yeah,
at the retro store a few weeks ago.
Yeah. It's I believe that's the remake of the very first game, which was Final Fantasy Adventure originally.
which I think it was called like Mythic Quest or something in Europe or something. Again, like it's got a weird kind of.
Nope, that sounds different.
Yeah,
Maybe
Mystic Quest is different.
Is it?
Mystic Quest was an SNES title.
Is it really?
That
Okay, I
was
don't even know then.
It was like a
Final Fantasy
like
Mystic
baby's
Quest. It was very
first-
weird.
It was like a baby's first Final Fantasy. It was like an entry level introductory to RPGs. It was really cool.
All right, man. Yeah, that's taking me back.
I'm so glad we got past all that.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah. I was like, yeah, because I also think of
Dragon
things I played
Quest,
on
Dragon Warrior, Biohazard, Resident Evil.
Yeah, well, right.
I think my second game would be Super Metroid. That's my other game I think everyone should
Fuck,
play.
there's some great choices.
Super Metroid.
Shane, did you have a couple, or do you want me to go first?
I said Legend of Mana.
Yep.
I mean, that's.
Yep.
I can't express. We'll get into Tokyo Game Show, but like, I woke up, blurrily read that on my Facebook, and literally jumped out of bed. I was so excited. It's Symphony of the Night, Castlevania, huge game for me. As a kid, because most of them modern. Animal Crossing, Earthbound.
Oh yeah,
Earthbound.
yeah.
That was a big one for me. That was like one of the very first games I played where I'm like, oh, I need to like play this all the time and finish it. It's like I have to find out what happens. Oh, games of stories. Oh, this is pretty cool, actually.
God, I could name must plays forever, but finding 2 is
Hard,
tough.
right?
Picking 2 is tough. The entire GameCube
Yeah.
library, all of it, the entire thing, every first party
There's
GameCube
so many good
game,
ones.
go play it.
Yeah,
that's all must plays.
I have like a bunch of runners up that could be in this category. Like I think like some of the SNES stuff I played. Like I played like the original Lufia and Lufia 2, and like that kind of ignited a love of those old school RPGs.
Nice.
In that way that like I got into gaming quite late, or not late, but like I didn't play games until I was maybe like 10, 11, 12 years old. Like my parents tried to get me to go outside and do stuff. Look how that fucking worked out. So like I said, like the PlayStation 1 was my first console. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro were the first games I ever played. But then I kind of went back because I had no money and wanted and emulated a lot of stuff. But I think if I was looking back at like what are probably the most impactful games, it's probably Final Fantasy X. I think. I think it's one of those ones where it was like PlayStation 2 comes out, it's a big fucking deal, and they're like, hey, check this shit out. We got the 3D modeling. They don't look like weird pixel monsters anymore. Like we got like pretty good voice acting. Still had the turn-based, didn't have the active time battle stuff. Like it had everything I liked about, again, because I'd gone back and played a lot of old school RPGs that were very, very strict turn-based. They were like, this is like a love letter to those old style of games with enough level of like flexibility. And because like all my friends like would just not stop talking about like Final Fantasy 7 and 8. 9, no, I didn't know anyone who played 9, but I guess, yeah, like 7, obviously 7 is the one that everyone loves. But like 10 really just was like, this is like a story, and like the music and the visuals and just kind of, again, also like the marketing around it and like the hype when it was coming out. People were like, this is a big fucking deal. And those pre-rendered cutscenes they did. Yeah, so I think 10, it's like between like 10 and like Kingdom Hearts and that kind of era of like early PlayStation, those Square games that were like really like things that we just had not seen
Good ones.
Had not seen before on those like that kind of scale. Like you really get an idea of what the technology could do. But I'd say, yeah, Kingdom Hearts I've been playing again and been like, man, it's really, really good. But I still think Final Fantasy X is probably the one. And then like on the complete kind of other side of things, I think the original Dark Souls is probably the other game that's like very impactful for me, and kind of in a way of like looking at, like, I'm not like a big character action guy. I played like Devil May Cry's and Bayonettas, and I'm really fucking bad at them. And I was like, okay, Dark Souls, fantasy game, you fight a bunch of dudes. Apparently it's quite hard. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm probably not going to get like high scores or whatever. And it's like, no, you just like, it's like a perseverance thing. It's like and it changed the industry so much, and has created basically one of my favorite genres, you know, like this kind of like Souls-like thing. Like I see Souls-like and I'm like immediately like, interesting. Okay. Keen. I'll have a look. Because I just really, really kind of enjoy that style of game. And I'm sure I'll be sick of it soon, because, you know, the games industry never misses an opportunity to drive anything into the dirt. But I think those two are probably the ones that I'm like, if you want to understand the kind of gamer that I am, those are probably two games that I would pick to be like, this is the reason I'm as messed up as I am, is massive completionist and like really weird secret shit and really punishing difficulty.
I'm going to trade out Super Smash Bros. Melee. Just because that was like the first thing that popped in my head, because I probably have the most time out of any other game I've ever played into Melee. I'm gonna swap out Melee though for if I think everyone should play Super Metroid and Pokemon Emerald.
Ooh,
good choices.
Emerald's a good choice.
Yeah,
Emerald's a really good choice.
I think in the same respect, if you want to understand what kind of games I like, it's Super Metroid and Emerald. Like you can boil down to those two games probably.
Yeah. All right. Well, Stubby, I'd be keen to hear your ideas on this, because it's so hard to pick your babies when we have so many games and genres that we all really, really enjoy, and just kind of, you know.
Garfield Kart.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that, yeah.
Everyone has
it was like between Garfield Kart and Crash Team Racing, and I had to go with Garfield Kart, you know.
I'd play My Horse and Me Too all day.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Oh, man. I mean, to be fair, if we're talking about like things that are reflective of the shit we've played, My Horse and Me Too is probably not. It's probably not a bad representation of what's on my tag. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Just by sheer volume.
Yeah. All right. God.
The thing is, Isaac also. So Isaac asked our next question, and this was also a big runner-up for me, of one of those things that was like, wow, video games can do this. So Isaac says, hey guys, with Soul Reaver, one of my favorite series of all time, Legacy of Kain, with Soul Reaver remakes being leaked, and well, at this stage have basically been announced, what other remakes would you like to see, and what do you hope they add to the game that would improve it but didn't have in the original? He gives the examples of like Resident Evil without the tank controls. He doesn't necessarily mean like ports. He wants like full like remakes in the same way that like Resident Evil 2 and 4 work, like full remakes of those games. Thanks for the show. Thank you for the question, Isaac. Again, as we said in the chat, we apologize for giving you shit last week. I was just kidding. I know you're a busy guy. We just appreciate the questions a lot. I don't know. Do you guys have any kind of things like close to your heart remakes that you're like, this doesn't need just like a port. This needs like a proper like reimagining.
Oh, I have a very passionate answer, but I can let someone else go first.
Shane, you got anything?
Oh, I got a remaster, huh? Like full
If
up.
if no one else
I
has
mean,
one right now, I can go.
if Front Software could stop and do like a Lost Kingdoms remaster, or like
Oh
a
my
recreation or
god.
something like that, like I'd be down for
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Cool.
Like I
make it a two
love
pack.
that
Just yeah,
series.
remake them and just
GameCube.
yeah, one and two in the same
Yeah,
thing. I'd buy that
that'd
day
be cool.
one.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
love those games.
Um, every single time this question comes up, I've had the same answer consistently for probably the last 5 years. I'm pretty sure I've said this on the show. Metal Gear 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It's
Full
coming.
on like retell that story because it's so if you understand the Metal Gear lore, I've like if you've played all the games, if you've looked deep dived into all the shit and watched the cutscene movies of the games, you understand how absolutely huge and important Metal Gear 1 and 2 are to that entire saga.
Hmm.
And so many people are missing that because they're on the MSX and because they're 2D and like just tell the story in a very limited way. But they're so super important to that entire franchise.
It,
It's just such a missing piece,
it
and more people would
it would
go ahead.
really benefit from having that, like, again, Hideo Kojima style cinematography, like eye over it to kind of turn it into one of those kind of experiences for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we'll ever get it because Hideo Kojima obviously not with Konami anymore, not the best of friends ever, and I don't think Konami could do it justice. Probably they probably need Hideo Kojima to really do it. Maybe they could pull it off. I don't know, but I'd still like to see him try even without Kojima. Honestly,
They still got the
but
Fox
that has been
engine. It
my
still looks good.
that has been that has been my answer to that question for as long as I can think.
Now,
Which is
now would you want
apparently
like a
not very long.
pixel remaster? So it's like pretty it
No,
up, or would you want like Metal Gear, but I don't know,
take take those
Peace Walker?
stories, take those stories, rip about of the game, and then build it like Peace Walker or Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, 100%.
Not
Yeah,
like
I'd be so down.
not yeah, exactly. Like same engine, same graphic, like full just tell those stories in a modern setting.
Yeah, I would play the shit out of that. That would be
Yeah.
amazing because it is
Yeah.
one. Yeah, like you said, especially with the way Metal Gear Solid 5 goes, like the importance of those games becomes even more so with some of those plot elements,
Yeah.
especially around the endings.
It's literally what ties because I mean if you know much about the Metal Gear Solid timeline, it's 1, 2, 4, 3 Peace Walker 5. Metal Gear 1 and 2 is what bridges that gap. That is the link between those like
Yeah.
subsets of the time period, and it's incredibly important what happens in those time like in that time, like super
Yeah,
important.
quite a bit.
And everyone just reads it on the wiki these days because they don't want to play through that
Yeah,
game, which I can understand.
yeah.
Oh
What's
man.
yours, Matt?
Hmm?
So what's yours?
Mine? I mean, like, this is a cop out answer, but like I'm really happy. I'm gonna buy the Soul Reaver the remasters again, but like they need to just remake that entire series. Like there's 5 games within that series, and they're all across different consoles. Like, sorry, 5 games, because you had Blood Omen 1 was like a top down Diablo style, a sort of action RPG. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 are combat platformers with some really janky stuff happening to them. Blood Omen 2 is kind of a weird kind of PS2 era fighting, like a sort of action adventure kind of game, similar to Soul Reaver, but kind of not quite. And then Defiance was very much like, hey, we're in this era where we got to the end, we understand how this game's kind of work, and it ended on a fucking cliffhanger. So I think realistically, I'm hoping that this like really inspires them to kind of do some work to bring those games into the modern era, especially like the original Blood Omen, because those stories are one of those things that really, really impacted me.
I've told you my Dennis Dyack story, right?
Yes, you have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
The Cliff Notes version for people listening to this episode is he did a panel at my school for a nerd convention, and I got my copy of Two Humans signed by him. I have a signed
Nice.
copy of Two Human by Dennis Dyack.
Great game.
well, let's not go that far. I think.
Listen, they get a lot of credit because Total Darkness was great. Speaking of games that should be remade.
Yeah. Well, they could give it another try, maybe. I'm thinking of things like PS.
I mean, Eternal Darkness, not Too Human.
Yeah,
Not Too Human.
Eternal Darkness.
Let me be clear.
Dude, Shane, I don't know if I told you this one. Matt, maybe I told you. I don't. Maybe I didn't tell you this one either. But when he did a 2-part panel when he came to my school. The first part was like the future of games, and he talked about like cloud computing. And this was back in like 2014 when like that was just whispers and new ideas. And now it's like a thing, which is cool that kind of came to fruition. But the other thing was really just like it was actually kind of awkward. It didn't feel like much of it. It was supposed to be keynote speaker stuff, but it didn't feel as much like keynote speaker stuff as it was like an advertisement for a game he was working on.
Right.
And he showed us footage of it. Like it existed, but it was like a early beta, early alpha, like spiritual successor and or remake of Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, which I think would be like.
God, that game is so cool.
The world is missing something like that for sure. Because I think that game is a little hard to go back to.
I saw it with my eyes. I saw it. I literally was like, "That's from Eternal Darkness. That's literally from Eternal Darkness." And it was like new modern graphics for the time, 2014.
Sure.
But
man,
obviously it's been 10 years, haven't seen it, so I'm sure it's canned. But it was out. Dennis Dyack was cooking at one point. He was cooking.
I hope it. Maybe someday.
I'm trying to think what needs like a really good. I would love a remake of Psychonauts, the original. I think that they basically like. I think them rebuilding it in the engine that they built for, like the framework they built for Psychonauts 2 would be fantastic because Psychonauts 1 I think is actually in some ways a better game structurally.
I think most people would agree with that.
But the problem is playing that game. It's the like structurally and story and kind of thematically, I really really love it. I mean, fuck that whole like milkman, the whole like prison guard milkman level with all the spy stuff is one of the funniest, most interesting levels I've ever seen in a video game. And like, but the problem is the platforming in that game is just bad. You know, it just plays very, very poorly. It just kind of isn't well designed. And also, like, the meat circus, like, the difficulty spike is less of a spike and more of, like, a fucking Everest. Like, I've never actually finished that game. I never finished the final level of it. I mean, if it had achievements, I probably would have struggled through it. But I think that it was one of those few games that I actually bought as, like, an original Xbox Originals collection because I'm like, I need to play this game. It's just so important and such a, like, a, you know, one of, like, Tim Schafer's best games, but unfortunately one of his worst to play.
Neo.
You don't think in some back room of Double Fine they're not working on that? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, they
a side project.
Like, I think I would be surprised if they don't have something cooking, but apparently it isn't an active development. They've said, but also people lie in the games industry all the time. So
yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah.
And Andrew Garfield said he's in the new Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Right.
Whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you it does have achievements, but it actually doesn't.
It does not.
It has 163. Oh, I was talking. Well, I was looking at retro achievements.
Yeah, of course.
It has 163 requests, which is usually enough to get a set made. But I don't know what's going on with that. It's so weird.
Yeah. So I think that's the one that sort of springs to mind because we've seen a lot of like remasters and that kind of stuff of kind of older games, but we're now getting into that PS2 era where doing it. The question between doing a remake or a remaster is like, okay, how much work would it be? How good is the game still? Like, you know, like Final Fantasy X, for example, and 10-2 got like remasters because they were like, well, we'll just kind of redo it and just kind of up the textures a bit and kind of just put it out again. Whereas like doing a full-on remake for something, I don't know. You don't see that many, like outside of like Capcom doing like full remakes of the Resident Evil series. You don't see a huge amount of like full remakes because again, it's a huge piece of work.
Yeah. And it's a risk, right? Like, you're not gonna make everyone happy, obviously. Like, there's just gonna be purists who shit on the game no matter what.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
How much do most companies care about those? You know what I mean?
That's
like all they care about is money, and I do wonder what their thinking is because like 2 of the games I played this week, they're remasters, but one like Legend of Mana, they just widescreened it, made some what's the word I'm looking for? Quality of life adjustments and clarified the backgrounds, but the sprites are still the same. And then you have Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, which looks like a whole new game, but still plays like the old one a little bit. But there's also quality. Like, I wonder how they decide.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the level we should go to for this.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold up. I'm stupid.
Brain freeze.
What came out on Xbox? Legend of Mana
And Visions. Yeah.
Yes, and
Visions
Trials.
of Mana. And Trials.
Visions
Okay,
of Mana
I
was
was
the
gonna
brand
say
new game.
The brand new
Trials
one,
and
so,
Legends were just released.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes, and okay, so and you were talking about Legends, which is the
Yes.
PS1 one. Trials never came
Correct.
to America, and Trials is like that is the full blown remake, right? Because that was originally like an
Yes.
SNES game, and now
Super
it's like
Nintendo. Yep.
Yeah.
now it's an
It was
action
on
RPG.
DS and PS3, I think. I forget when they remastered that, but
2020.
it's not
PS4.
super old.
Yeah.
PS4.
The brand new one? Oh,
yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
thought they came out for DS.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, so yeah, I didn't know. I thought we just got. I'm so out of it apparently. I thought we just got.
And then
Secret of Mana.
Visions of Mana is the brand new entry, and that came out last month, I think.
Yeah, come on.
So
I thought we just got Secret in Trials. I didn't know about Legend of Mana. God, I'm gonna have to go through that whole freaking series.
Yeah,
no one knows what Legend of Mana is, to be fair.
Yeah.
Huh?
Said no one knows what Legend of Mana is.
Yeah,
Black sheep of the
I did, but I didn't know we got it on Xbox. That's super exciting.
Well, speaking of which, again, is there any other suggestions from you guys before we move on?
No.
No. All right.
I could probably.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I'm sure we could guess about remakes all day because there's a lot of real. You know, like I'd love to see them. I'd love to see them redo Legend of Legaia or Legend of Dragoon. There's like PS1 level stuff.
Saga Frontier.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of like PS1 era stuff that doing a remaster of doesn't really work super great. Like you can kind of up the textures a lot, but like structurally there is just Kingsfield is a fucking fantastic call. They would need a lot of work though. It would need a lot of work.
Yeah, they would. That game's rough today. Holy cow. Holy cow.
Yeah. But yeah, we had let's get into the news. We had a Tokyo Game Show. Also, thank you, Isaac, for the question as always. Tokyo Game Show. So yeah, lots of announcements. I guess we'll just kind of go through them. We can give our thoughts about them. First one was we had some stuff added to Game Pass. We had We Love Katamari reroll, so the second Katamari game. Much easier list than the first one because you don't have to collect every fucking item in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I've already bought it and played it, and it's great. Highly recommend it. I'm assuming you guys enjoy Katamari because, you know.
Yeah, I own that one already.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Oh my god, the news is all over the place. So Katamari reroll.
Yep.
Added to Game Pass, and then we just got We Love Katamari from. Okay.
Yep.
I'm caught up. God.
Yep, because the original was in there. I think it's out now.
Yes.
Because Katamari Damacy was in the remake was in there or remaster, and then We Love Katamari has now just been added, but it's been on Xbox for a little while.
What happened to numbers? Why didn't we like 1, 2, and 3?
Well, Katamari's always been a weird one for its sort of idiosyncratic like naming.
I know. I'm just giving it crap, but it's just.
It would be nice to just be like, you know what? They could just put the number in a bracket next to it.
Every time I talk about a Katamari game and somebody's talking about like the subtitle of what it is, I'm just like, which one is that in the series again?
So Beautiful Katamari was 4, I think, and then we had like Katamari. We Love Katamari, and then we have Katamari Damacy, and then you have like, I don't fuck yeah. There was the one that was on the PSP that everyone really liked.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. Great game.
Great series. Yeah, for sure.
And then All You Need Is Help is also joining, which I think got shut off a little while ago at a Nintendo Direct, I think maybe, or something. I can't remember. It was sort of puzzle game where you kind of play sentient Tetris style pieces, and you kind of have to fit yourselves into a block by getting around puzzles and kind of maneuvering each other and trying to like it looks fun. It looks like a nightmare, but that's coming to Game Pass, which is great, or it's in Game Pass now. And then, of course, the big one, we got 2 Square Enix RPGs. So we got Trials of Mana and Legend of Mana.
Big one, he says. There's a bigger one.
What are you talking about? That's it.
Nope, not even.
That's the only big one?
Yeah.
That's the only big one?
Trials of Mana, yeah, and Legend of Mana. That was it. And I think Square Enix kind of just left after that.
Nothing else going.
They also, so Square Enix.
We got Legend of Mana. We can just end the achievement system now.
Yeah.
It's over. We got the best. We're done.
Fight you, Shane. Fight you.
We've also they need to put Secret of Mana as well. And so also, yes, with the rumors, Square Enix finally gave us some Final Fantasies, not Final Fantasy 16 and not the 7 remakes or Rebirth, but at least we got the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters have joined. So all 6, so Final Fantasy 1 through 6 are now available. Not on Game Pass, so you have to pay for them. But, which I know Cameron's very upset about.
In some respects, I think that's better than getting Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 16. Mostly because Final Fantasy 4 and 6 are two of the best games ever made.
Man. Ever. So good.
I have to admit to something. I have a big hole in my gaming library because I started on the PlayStation 1. I have a lot of these old games that I've just never seen or played. So,
you never played any of the 1 through 6? Any of them?
I think I played a little bit of 6. Maybe again, like there was also that weird thing with the naming schemes were weird. Like 3 was 1 or so.
Fair enough.
So
yeah, 2 and 3 are 4 and 6. 4 and 6 are quintessential. You have to play those.
Yeah.
Yes.
1 is great. It's very basic. It's obviously the humble beginnings of the series, but 1 is still like I'm enjoying the hell out of it. 2 and 5 are still worth playing, but they're just weird. They're different. They did different things that the others didn't do. But
they're the between childs. Yeah.
3's really cool too. I mean, I say play them all. Do them all. They're all.
Yeah, I probably will, to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to pick them up all right now. You can buy them as a collection, or you can buy them separately. I think it's like $80 New Zealand, or like not sure what the.
It was $60 US.
Okay, for all of them, which is actually not that bad. That's actually pretty good for 6 games.
Yeah.
But
if any listeners out there who doesn't know, if you pick any two, pick 4 and 6 for sure.
I know Cameron has been very, very excited for them, but I think he's looking to buy them one at a time so he just doesn't get overwhelmed and actually maybe finishes one of them. But we will
as well, right?
We'll chronicle that on the podcast and see if that ever happens.
I just dove head first and installed all of them at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's potentially what's going to end up happening with me, even though I have a million other things to play. We also saw the first expansion for Age of Mythology Retold, which is the one that came out a few weeks ago. Immortal Pillars, apparently inspired by Chinese mythology. It is a bit weird that they're kind of showing this off so soon after release. I mean, it's not like it's out now.
Gotta remind them.
But I guess, yeah, they want to make sure that people know that they're going to be supporting the game. Because I think they have 2 DLC packs planned so far, at least to start with. And then Cameron has been talking about whether they're going to support it similar to how they've been doing Age of Empires 2, where it's like they just keep doing content.
Makes sense to start that expectation soon, because like in today's gaming world, it's just you have such a short attention span of everybody, so you kind of gotta just keep punching at content if you want your game to be on living.
Yeah, especially with a niche genre like RTS these days, it's hard to stay relevant, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I think Destiny would be more popular
anymore.
Oh, sorry, what was that, Shane?
I said I'm not sure why they make those anymore. No one plays them.
Yeah, apparently not. Yeah. Sorry, and you were saying, Jack?
Cameron's gonna kill me.
I was just gonna say, I think Destiny 2 would be a more popular game today if they had a faster rollout for new content.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that first year was so rough.
Yeah.
And then it got really good, but like they lost so many people in those first like 2 months because there just was nothing post endgame. And it's kind of like this. The lesson of that is like if Destiny would have rolled out more content sooner, it would be far more popular than it. And it's still massively popular, but I think it'd be far more popular.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I've always been like, that looks like it's the kind of thing I would enjoy, but I just don't know if I have the time because it's basically just a pseudo MMO at this point.
Yeah, it's a long time commitment for sure.
Games of service.
Yes.
700 hours in Destiny 1, 500 in Destiny 2.
Fuck. Overwatch 2 and My Hero Academia are getting some sort of collab. No one cares. Because both of those things are bad. That's right.
What?
That's right. I said.
Whoa.
That's right.
Whoa. Dial it back. Reel it in. 50% of those things are bad.
Yeah, My Hero is fucking awful, and no one should be watching it.
What the fuck?
No, My Hero is okay, but it's that fucking ending. Microsoft also confirmed that a StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 will be joining Game Pass, I guess Game Pass PC in November, although I don't know if they specified PC. It'd be kind of weird playing those on consoles. I don't know if they're getting the achievement treatment or they're just going to be available.
Yeah, very curious.
I was curious of that too. I feel like they're just going to be chucked on the Xbox launcher.
Yeah,
like Fallout. the Fallouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
Fallout's on there.
Probably. I don't think they're going to be spending any time to rework any of those old games, considering remastered
Yeah.
is already. I mean, to be fair though, those games like do have achievement functionality and like internal achievement functionality within them, so it might not be the biggest amount of work for them to kind of add a couple of bits and pieces, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm curious also with the StarCraft 2 if it's going to be all 3 expansion packs included or what they're kind of doing there, because StarCraft 2 famously came out in 3 different parts with, I think it was Legacy of the Void, Heart of the Storm, and
I forgot all about that.
I can't remember what the original. I think the original was just StarCraft Wings of Terran or something. I can't remember, but Wings of Liberty or some shit. Where it was they had a Terran expansion, a Zerg expansion, and then a Protoss expansion, and so that gave that game legs for quite a while. But it's also been a long time, so I didn't have a PC good enough to play it at the time, so I just never really got into the series. But I love the original, so if it has achievements, I'll probably check it out as long as it's not some fucking bullshit. Fallout 76 is doing some stuff no one cares. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is apparently still coming out this year. I'll believe it when I see it. I know I keep saying that, but Avowed's not coming out this year. So, man, December's looking... Indiana Jones got a lot of... Well, again, they seem pretty confident, but yeah, they're showing some... Apparently it's got some... They're going to have Japanese voice acting in it, which is kind of cool. There's some new Battle Royale game called Asura Young, coming out next year. I feel like a Battle Royale game at this stage is... I don't think you just missed the boat. You might have missed the entire fleet.
Yeah, you got to be Fortnite or Apex or you're done. Or Warzone. Or Eliminator, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem Concord had. They're trying to chase these trends that are, it takes 8 years to get a game through development and everything else. And by the time they get it out, they're like, look at this new MOBA back in the day, or Battle Royale now, or Games of Service. And we're like, we're well past that, guys. Is it a indie spooky fishing game? We don't want that. No.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Indie spooky fishing game sold.
Yeah.
Done.
They're like, oh, hey, it's like,
absolutely.
hey guys, I've just released a cozy game that's similar to it, and everyone just goes, let me guess. You fish for stuff, you can go into a mine and fight things, and it's basically just like Stardew Valley, and you have your dead grandpa talking to you all the time. And it's like, how did you know? And it's like, well, there's been a few of them.
A few. Just a couple.
Gotta love that corporate red tape.
Oh boy. So apparently there is a new JRPG, Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land, which is quite the subtitle.
They always are.
It's a Japanese game, all right.
Yeah, it looked. I kind of looked at it. And I think, was this the one where they were like, this is a brand new adventure from the people who made Final Fantasy or whatever, or like it has like some of the, I don't fucking remember. There's so
I don't know that. I actually admittedly didn't showcase. I just read the headlines, but I mean, I'm excited for it because we never got, and I don't know how to say it. I don't ever know if it's Atelier or Atelier or whatever.
I think it's French, so like I think if, as long as you mispronounce it, it's fine.
Exactly. Anyway. We've never had those on Xbox. They're on Steam because XSEED just started putting a lot of their games on Steam. But this is like a very storied franchise. I looked it up the other day, and it's got 26 games in it from the PS2 up till now. I have a good handful of the PS2 ones and the PS3 and PS4 ones. I don't have nearly all of them, but I have a good chunk of them. I'm excited for it. They're cool JRPGs. They're turn-based typically. This new one might not be. It looks like they're going for something a little different,
more like
a
action
little more
adventure-y kind of
action-y, which is like what I feel like a lot of JRPGs are. Like all the Tales games are doing that. Like I've been doing that for a while now too. It's like,
I mean, Legend of Mana, for example, was action adventure as well. Like kind of more down that route. It looks very pretty. There's going to be a kind of weird recursive thing, but it kind of does give me that sort of visual Genshin Impact kind of big world, lots of nice skyboxes, a lot of effects.
For sure. They're also incredibly known for their waifus.
Oh, yeah, okay. So just like Genshin.
City.
Okay.
Of course they are.
Jesus. All right, well.
Yeah. But they're cool games. I'm excited to get one on Xbox.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that we're getting more of this JRPG stuff. Again, I don't know if I'll ever play it if it doesn't end up on Game Pass, but it's good that we have that representation.
They're not XSEED.
It's
the other one.
Koei Tecmo, I think.
I thought they were in NIS.
NES? I can't. I actually don't even remember, but I thought they were Koei, but I might be wrong.
Nipponichi?
Let's have a look. Gust are the developers, but yeah, Koei Tecmo looks like they're the ones who are also publishing it.
Okay. I can never remember.
Are these games like
Exceedness and...
E's or Y's or whatever, where there's like a million of them and no one really ever played them?
Kinda. There's more Atelier games than there are E's games.
It's amazing that this is the first I'm hearing of this series. That is kind of weird.
That's crazy to me. That is actually mind-boggling. Like, it was radio silent about this. I had to go look at everyone was freaking out online in Discord. Oh, we got the Legends, we got Final Fantasy, which is like fair and valid for sure. But I was like, okay, cool. Let me go read through the rest. I was like, we're getting a fucking Atelier game on Xbox? Like, why is nobody else talking about this? Like, clearly I'm the only one who has any interest in this franchise at all. But I'm excited.
I mean, I'm
more
keen.
JRPG
like,
goodness.
Obviously, want to have a look at the list and how much they're going to charge me for it. But I enjoy a good JRPG, so why not?
Yeah.
Bleach. There's a Bleach game coming out, Rebirth of Souls, next year. We saw Dragon Quest 3 HD remake, their kind of 2D thing they did.
Am I the only one who that was their realization that was coming to Xbox also? I thought it was only in Switch and
no. I think they did announce it a little while ago when they announced they were also working on 1 and 2 remakes. They were like, also 3 is coming to other platforms. I think is what they said.
Okay. This was my.
I'm sure that was the spear tip of all this.
Yeah.
Square Enix love we just got. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Frag Punk is apparently getting a beta. I don't even remember what that is. Was that?
Card based.
That's right.
Shooter.
Oh.
It looks kind of neat.
It looks alright, but I feel like again missing the boat a little bit. It does look kind of like a Valorant style, but with some card stuff.
It'll succeed just like X Defiant.
Yeah.
And do so well.
I'm sure it'll do great, and Shane will be just as angry with those games for 1 or 2 achievements.
No, I'm good. Learn my lesson.
We saw a bit more of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, the remake.
Oh.
Yep, looks great. Still no release date though. Is kind of weird. I feel like we've been hearing about it quite a bit.
That was very strange because it's still apparently coming out this year.
Which does not happen. No way. There's not a chance.
Yeah, right. That's what everyone's saying, but they said this year and they haven't changed it. So
I mean,
very interesting.
They put out a demo for Metaphor ReFantasio, which is probably my most anticipated game this year. If you don't know, it's the JRPG made by the Persona team at Atlas. It's their next kind of non-Persona project, but it's also not a Shin Megami Tensei 5 or 6 or other kind. It's a completely its own thing. It looks like. It looks really, really good. I'll probably keep an eye out for reviews, but it might be a day one for me. We'll see. I was just thinking about this Slitterhead game that we talked about a little while ago. I think actually when you guys were on the show.
Can't say that word. Gotta calm down.
Sorry, yes.
That sounds like a slur.
It really does, right?
That is crazy.
It's a comfortable thing to say.
It is an interesting, I think it looks really sick. I'm excited to
I think it looks janky as fuck, but I'm kind of okay with that. It looks like
it looks like Japanese jank Souls game.
Yeah.
That's what it's starting to look like.
I love jank.
Me too. It really does feel like it's something. It's like a game from the PS2 era that we just kind of didn't realize existed, and they just put out. They were just like, hey, look at this kind of weird, janky, interesting thing from that. Only Japan could do something like this, right? I don't know.
Literally, they seem to be the ones putting out those kind of games. We're like, this feels like I should have played this a few generations ago, but it looks like it's modern gen.
Yeah. I'm all in. Because that's I don't know. There's something about that gameplay for me that just does it. And then to get that in a super modern graphic style, I'm all in. I'm on board.
Yeah. I love Silent Hill, and I love that kind of weird, interesting body horror style stuff. So I'll probably check it out as long as it gets some decent reviews. There's a new turn-based RPG called Starbites. I don't really know much about it. It's got kind of a sort of modern, colorful look as opposed to the sort of more traditional, typical anime JRPGs kind of things.
I like theirs, so.
Yeah.
Or you know what it reminds me of? Steambot Chronicles.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's probably not. Yeah. That's probably a pretty good kind of. Yeah. More. I'm not gonna say down to earth, but I guess kind of. I think I want to say rustic, but that doesn't make sense. But I don't know. There's kind of a. it's less anime.
Right. It's still like it's still like it looks
Turn-based
more like
RPG.
Dragon. It looks more like Dragon Quest than it does like I don't know, a Tales game.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go down that road.
If we're looking at just graphical style, anyway.
Suikoden, HD Remaster 1 and 2 is coming out, which I know a lot of people are excited about because those are absolute classics. There's a sci-fi extraction shooter called Synduality Echo of Ada, which is...
There you go.
Whew. Extraction shooter is kind of an interesting genre to be in these days, but that's coming out January 24 next year. There's a very, very cute game called Tanuki Pond's Summer, which is, again, one of those sort of cozy looking games, which also looks great. I highly recommend it. You play like a Tanuki postman.
It's coming to Game Pass, isn't it? I think.
Yes, I believe it is coming to Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And then,
Oh my god, this is Studio Ghibli game.
Yeah, for sure. It's Kiki's Delivery Service.
It's Ghibli coded for sure.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Kiki's Delivery Service. For sure.
And then yet another JRPG, Threads of Time, which looks like a 2.5D kind of interesting style. I really like the art for it.
It's like Octopath with a little more cartoony.
Yeah, like less like traditional Final Fantasy style and more like it has like got like cyberpunk level stuff and like fucking apocalypse worlds and all this kind of like the environments look really, really good. It's got like a time traveling thing to it. Reminds me a lot of sort of the sort of Chrono Trigger style of messing with time, and yeah, it almost looks like a spiritual sequel to it actually in a lot of ways. So I'm
on board.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Fuck, there's so many JRPGs to play. Like this was a really, really good list.
I'm gonna have to like just throw everything aside. Like nothing else matters. I'm back into full into JRPGs.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen to me as well, to be honest.
I'm a JRPG gamer now, guys. Sorry.
Now,
nothing else.
I mean, come on.
Now.
Well, not that I ever wasn't, but like that's just gonna be that's all there is to do now. Like too many good things are coming. Too many good JRPGs are coming to Xbox, which is what we've all been wanting.
Imagine wasting your time playing fucking retro
ever.
achievements and old shit that no one cares about, right? Instead.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, right. And you could. I mean, at least you could be playing like Star Wars Outlaws or something fun.
Know where you came from. Know where the JRPGs came from. Know your place, trash.
Just play the HD remakes. Just buy the game again.
Yeah, sure. I just did, literally.
But Shane, you raise a good point. Star Wars Outlaws. Everyone's hotly anticipated game for this
Game of the year.
Game of the year material. I'll admit, I was excited for it. You know, like I'm a big Star Wars fan. I usually tolerate most of the Ubisoft stuff. I wasn't sure where it was going to fit on the sliding scale of climb a tower to reveal 100 icons, non-linear Far Cry 5 style thing versus something more like maybe like Avatar, I guess. I don't know. Again, all their fucking games are blending into one at this point. They're trying to make the monolith of open world games, and Outlaws got some kind of rough reviews, and apparently that impacted the sales. So Ubisoft had a bit of a shareholders meeting. Said apparently Star Wars Outlaws sales were softer than expected, and they've got apparently quite a few improvements they want to make to the game to make it more playable, especially some stuff around stealth and kind of I guess like playability. There's some complaints around like how the speed is controlled and just kind of the controls in general and just kind of how it plays from a gameplay perspective is just kind of apparently needs some more tightening. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I know.
Yeah, neither have I.
I think Keo was playing a bit of it because he has Ubisoft Plus at the moment.
I haven't played it either, but I'd like to. But it almost kind of makes me think too. Like this feels like a trend that we're just seeing in general. Is like big AAA game not selling as well as it was expected to sell. I'm curious if like I know forever people were just screaming at the top of their lungs, yelling at people to stop pre-ordering games. Yeah. And I wonder if enough people have just listened. Because I used to be I have so many Xbox One games that I bought bought day and date that I still haven't touched. Like I was buying every new release day one. I was one of those shills. And then I was like, yeah, I have too many games to get to and more than enough to play, and I'll get to these eventually, and they'll be on sale, and they're never good when they come out, blah 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 blah. So I wonder if like that has just finally resonated, and people just have stopped buying games day one, and like the corporations or the big companies just don't like don't know how to deal because they're used to the people just every year pre-ordering their game.
Well, yeah,
And
when
now
you have
people
Ubisoft in particular, when you have an Assassin's Creed release every fucking year, and people get hype about it and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I definitely see what you're saying.
So yeah,
I mean, money's all
that was
tight
the thought.
all around right now.
That was going to be my point.
That's
Yeah, like games are expensive to make. They're expensive to buy. Time is a lot of people have pretty time poor, and they just don't have the money to kind of be putting into things that are going to be like risks on the things that they want to be entertaining.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not the
100%.
pandemic anymore. We're not sitting at home gaming all day anymore. Like we're back at work, guys.
I mean,
Okay.
let's not tar everyone with that brush. I still very much sit at home and game, but I also work from home, so that helps.
I'm just saying, like,
but
I
yes.
wonder how many of these corporations are looking at those. I mean, come on, gaming was huge in 2020, 2021.
Yeah, explode.
That
Wow.
they're not quite back from that.
And you're just seeing that everywhere across the board, right? That's just capitalism
Yes.
line go up there for you. Like everyone's like, we need the line to go up year over year. If it doesn't, we did something wrong, and we need to also we have to be able to expect the line to go up, no matter how unreasonable that expectation is.
Yeah.
Why
And
line
when
not
they
go
don't,
up? Fire people.
why-
Make line go
Why
up.
line?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. It all comes down to line go up.
Yeah. So I mean, it got some decent ratings. Like, I don't want to say that like Outlaws was complete trash and everyone hated it, right? I think it was a very polarizing game in that a lot of people enjoyed some of the Star Warsy elements of it, but didn't enjoy some of the gameplay. Like the biggest problem seemed to be like in the gunplay and the stealth mechanics, which apparently they're looking to improve.
Stealth, yeah.
But to be fair, when your game is mostly climbing, sneaking, and shooting, like 2/3 of that being not great is kind of a hard sell when you are charging $70 for a game. Yeah.
So besides
Yeah.
it being woke, like that's the main issue I heard. So it was just the stealth was a little broken, I mean, I didn't hear anything like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah.
At least from reasonable people. I just heard that,
Yeah.
it's a little rough.
Space Marine
but
is woke too, Shane. Space Marine is also woke.
everyone, well, of course, obviously.
Space
But everyone I
Station is the
follow
most woke
that I-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how dare they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of so tired of that argument.
It's-
Anyway,
What's the woke game checking website? Is it woke.com?
Yeah, the one with the big
something like
spreadsheet.
that. I can't believe that's a real thing. I
Portal-
saw that.
It's
I'm
not
like,
a
are you-
spreadsheet.
Portal
It's a
2 is very
website.
woke, guys. That's what I heard.
It's a freaking website.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they made a whole
huge,
goddamn website.
huge thing.
Can't remember.
To check
what
your
it
games
is.
for wokeness.
Yeah.
Like, guys,
It's
Bro,
hilarious.
if
That's how you know
that's
we
your
don't
biggest
have enough
problem,
real
man.
problems in the world, right? And that's people
Right.
Like,
Your little lizard brain is looking for some real issues if you're worried about your game might have something that you consider woke in it. Like,
games have just gotten
Please
too good,
stop.
I guess, and people just need to find problems
too
with them.
good. Too good.
Yeah.
Star Wars
Yeah.
Outlaws raised that bar so high that I mean, there we go. Is there a
You
person of
play as
color
a
in
woman,
this game?
so you
I'm
play as a woman,
angry
so
about
it's
it.
like that's already
Hey.
marks against it.
There's a new big dog in town in the woke game agenda.
Mhm.
The new Ghost game.
Yeah.
Ghost of
Yeah. How dare they?
Holy
How dare they?
shit! What is going? So I guess kind of related to that is potentially related to that is that apparently Assassin's Creed Shadows they pulled out a TGS last minute. We didn't get a chance to report on it, but then they also cancelled all their preview coverage, and then they basically said the game's delayed till February next year, and it happened.
Yep.
All that happened to happen basically right after the new Ghost of Tsushima or Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah.
Game
That
got announced. Female protagonist, which again a lot of people are up in arms about, which I think is fucking ridiculous.
Well,
Female samurai.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh.
bro, did you even play the first game for a start?
Yeah.
Also
No,
voiced by
didn't.
Erika Ishii, who's one of my favorite.
Yeah, she's gonna do awesome. I love her.
Yeah, she's
great.
fantastic. Yeah, I watch all of her dropout stuff that she does, and she's fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess again that's PlayStation exclusive, and I'm kind of sad about that because I know. But Assassin's Creed Shadows got a lot of a lot of unfavorable comparisons to Ghost of Tsushima when it got announced. Whoa. Hang on. Let me get that blur filter out. Hang on. And a lot of people were like, man, Assassin's Creed Shadows is looking kind of rough compared to that. And it's basically just going to be like compared to Ghost of Tsushima over and over again. And then they released this trailer for a new... I mean, this game looks fucking amazing from a visual perspective. You have Wolf Companion. And now Assassin's Creed Shadows are like, yeah, we're gonna pull out of this whole scheduled release for this year. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, there was also a statement I'm sure Shane will have some opinions on. They got put out by Yves Guillemot, which we'll get to. But just kind of on the face of it, why do you think, like, they talk about, like, polishing and that kind of stuff, and they weren't happy with where the game's at this point for it to be releasing mid-November, so in, like, 6 weeks. Delaying it to February doesn't really feel like enough time to really do anything meaningful. That might just be, I don't know, right?
As much as the trolls want to hope that they're going to retool the entire game because of their complaints on every Assassin's Creed Shadow merchandise post on Facebook, no, they're not changing a whole lot. It's going to be, it's probably because of the Star Wars Outlaws thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, they saw a Star Wars game didn't hit their projections, and they're going to make sure that one of their flagship titles hits better, probably.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first
just
Assassin's
the
Creed
previews are a little weird,
in quite a while, right? Like, Valhalla was years ago. I mean,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, Mirage, I guess, but
Mirage.
I was gonna say Mirage. Is this supposed to be like a return to the Valhalla form, though?
I think so. Well, this definitely seems, the way they're pitching it is that it's more like Valhalla than it is Mirage.
Yeah,
okay.
but at the same time, I feel like they're letting you choose. Do you want to be Valhalla by playing Yasuke, or do you want to be Mirage, a classic Assassin's Creed, by playing Naue?
True.
So I think they're kind
of, I guess in terms of like
have
size
their cake and eating
scope
it too,
and how many fucking hours it's going to take to finish the game. I hope
hours,
it's not like a 200, 300 hour game like Valhalla is. I hope it's closer to Mirage, but I get the feeling it might be somewhere in the middle.
I did not know much about the game other than people are pissed off about it for stupid reasons, and that it was an Assassin's Creed game. You guys are kind of selling me on it.
Yeah,
right now. Like if the character you pick determines if this is gonna play like Assassin's Creed 1 through Revelations, or if this is gonna play like Assassin's Creed Origins through Valhalla, that sounds like such a sick concept to me.
That's kind of how they've been talking about it. I mean, the kind of your approaches will be different depending on what character you can pick, and you can switch between the characters, but you can also basically play as one for as much of it as you want to, really. I think it's like, from what we've seen, I think it's like tutorial missions with both, maybe a couple of startup missions, and then like you pick a character, you do the same missions, and you kind of just approach them in whatever character you want.
I'm still behind. I haven't done Syndicate, Valhalla, or Mirage, and I would like to do those, but I don't think I'll beat them. I'll do any of those before Shadows, so.
Yeah. Well, you got a bit more time because I guess February. I don't know. Clearly, they want.
I got a bit more time, but I don't. A bunch of freaking Weeb games just came out.
That's true.
I don't have any time.
I mean, to be fair, this game is set in Japan, so I don't know. Does it count as a Weeb game?
That's fair. It might.
They've been wanting them to do a Japan Assassin's Creed since the first one fucking came out. So I don't know.
Isn't that the most wild part of this? Like, I remember I've been an Assassin's Creed fan since the first game, and that was always the fan base's wish: go to Japan.
Yeah, ninjas are literally assassins. Just do it.
And then they went, here it is. And everyone's like, it's woke. It's garbage. Like, what in the world are you guys talking about? This is what we've wanted forever. It's so frustrating.
It was funny. I saw very recently a person on Twitter saying that it's crazy that you have to go to Reddit now. Reddit is where the calm, collected people are having gaming discussions now. Yeah. Not on Twitter.
Sure is.
It's crazy.
Twitter's a cesspool.
I will never call it X. Anyway. Now they just got to do the same with fucking Forza Horizon. Giving Japan.
Actually, Forza Horizon 6 in Japan would be fucking sweet.
Give me Japan, please.
I think that. Yeah, I mean, are you guys interested in the game? I mean, I will probably inevitably play it as long as it's not a huge investment. But
I feel like I always have like some. I used to be a huge Assassin's Creed fan from 1 through I was a day one, play it day one, beat it as fast as I could, kind of through. What did I get them through? I think basically Unity. I started slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got Unity late. I was in college. I didn't have money. I eventually got it, played it, was great. I got Syndicate, I think day one, but I still haven't touched it. I got Origins day one. I got Odyssey late. I got Valhalla day one, but haven't played it yet. And I don't own Mirage in any capacity. So my interest has dwindled, but I still think I haven't always have an overlying interest to play an Assassin's Creed game. So yeah, I want to play it, but I also have like I just said, 3 other Assassin's Creeds I've never played that I would also like to play. So
Yeah, I'm behind too.
Yeah, I never got through. I never did Odyssey or Valhalla, and I probably never will at this point, unfortunately. Maybe Odyssey because I'm a big fan of.
Odyssey was really fun. I heard Valhalla was weaker than Odyssey, which is unfortunate. But Odyssey was really good. I also do Valhalla because I'm not a scaredy cat who's afraid of long games.
Well, yeah, you play a JRPG, so clearly
those pleasure times.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that I'm definitely interested. I'm kind of the same, Jack, where I'm like I've always had like I've always carried a bit of a torch for the Assassin's Creed series through thick and thin, and I'm always interested in kind of what's happening. And I think like this is probably a good like, hey, Ubisoft Plus, same way I did earlier this year. I'll do another Ubisoft Plus month in March maybe, and just do a bunch of these games. Play Skull and Bones, I guess. I don't know.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm
don't
not
do
going
that.
to.
First quadruple A game. You didn't play that yet?
Yeah, but I'll probably play Star Wars Outlaws, and I'll do the DLCs for Avatar and for
you're missing the best games of all time. Wow.
Yeah,
it's kind of surprising.
Right. I feel like, I mean, obviously they push it to February because they want to get it with this financial year, right? They want to get it before the end of March, and putting out in March is probably not a long enough tail. But man, February is looking fucking stacked. They're going to be able to get some rough competition in Feb. I mean, Avowed is in Feb. Like this, it's just
It's also like it's Ubisoft, right? Like trust in Ubisoft, even for myself, has obviously dwindled. It has for pretty much, I feel like, most gamers.
Yeah.
I think the last banger game Ubisoft made, and maybe this can be up for debate, but I think the last banger Ubisoft game was Watch Dogs 2. I want them to make another game that captured me like Watch Dogs 2. That game was so good.
I would have said Rayman Legends, but Watch Dogs 2 is also
a little niche.
That game, Watch Dogs 2.
Watch Dogs 2 is really good. I think is kind of
exceeded all of my expectations.
Agreed.
Every single one of my expectations. It was fantastic.
I think that it had like the right mix of like open world stuff with like fun things to do and an interesting story and kind of the technical side of things. Yeah. But yeah, so Ubisoft obviously in a bit of a rough spot. They also put out an announcement. I didn't put it in the news here, but I know Shane, you read it and had some reactions to what Yves Guillemot was saying about wokeness.
Don't feed the trolls, guys. What is wrong with you? Are you guys not? Do you not have any millennials on your staff? Like, oh, it's so frustrating. Like this entire Ubisoft thing with the woke garbage, just
Yeah, they should have never addressed any of it. Never addressed
absolutely not. You should never respond to any of this because now you just fed it, and they're just gonna. You know what's acknowledge them.
Really funny is you saying that is like I literally just watched. This is gonna be really out there, way left field. I just watched a YouTube video, 20-minute YouTube video, because it caught my eye at like 11:30 while I was laying in bed. But it was a 20-minute YouTube video called. Like it was basically like the downfall of iDubbbz' career.
Right.
It was like the downfall of iDubbbz. And one of the things he said in his video was like, you literally like if you just wouldn't have said anything, like when people were giving you shit, like calling you out or whatever, if you just wouldn't have said anything, it would have blown over in a week.
Yeah.
But you said something, and now your career is over, basically.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting you say that, Shane. It's literally just like, just don't acknowledge it. It will go away. But they've acknowledged it, and now it's still here.
Yeah, I think the only other time I've really was disappointed in a developer in this way was the Mass Effect 3 ending debacle, where I can't believe they fixed that. Like, I get whatever criticisms there were of what was there, But to go back and change it because people were complaining, you just open up Pandora's box. You're like, you don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't. It's not.
The ending was fucking awful, but it should have just stayed being awful.
Yeah. It's awful then. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Now you gave people. It's the same thing with what am I thinking of? The Sonic, the animation
The Sonic
change.
face thing. Oh, that
Where
I
they
disagree
changed
with.
it.
That I think they needed to do.
No. They did, but now that they did that, now they think it works.
Well, it does
Like, that's
work.
the problem.
Apparently, that's the thing.
It does work.
Ah.
Like I remember when they were shutting down the PS3 stores and people got up in arms about it. They reversed their decision. They didn't shut those down anymore. Now Xbox has, and PS3's store is still up.
No one said a thing, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna tinfoil
Essentially.
hat. Sorry, what was that?
I said no one said a thing really about the 360 shutting down. Like
No,
obviously
it
there was
really-
like, oh no. But
Well, here's the. I
it went-
think
it went-
with PS3 they gave everyone like 2 months. 360 they gave everyone like a year.
Yeah.
Which so I think that
guess,
was a little
yeah.
more just like okay. And the 360 was like we're just shutting down the store on the 360. If you can buy a 360 game elsewhere, that's still allowed.
Yeah.
PS3 doesn't have the ability to play PS3 games out anywhere but a PS3, and now some streaming on PS5.
Yeah, the backwards compatibility argument is still a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tinfoil hat also for a second and say the fucking Sonic movie thing was a stunt.
It could have been.
Stunt. They knew it was bad. There's no way anyone in that studio looked at that, who was working on that and worked on looked at the source material and played those and had a passion for them.
That's our hedgehog.
And it was like that's my hedgehog. There's no way.
I can see it.
Like I don't believe it.
If that's true, there's no way that they started from scratch. They must
No,
have had
they must
this
have- I'm
model
sure they
on
had other
backup
models
somewhere.
for sure.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
have a buddy who does a 3D animation. It's first off, yeah, I think it was a stunt and that they did have it either had it ready or like honestly, you really 3D animation like the animation's done. You just re-rig the model basically,
Mhm.
like which doesn't take nearly as much time as like starting from scratch.
Yeah, changing the paint.
So-
yeah.
I think the time frame they spun it around is possible, is realistic.
Oh,
But
yeah.
however way they did it, whether they had it ready or just like redid it, I totally think it was a stunt for sure. Tinfoil hat.
Well, I watched that movie, and I watched the second one, and I'm gonna watch the third one. So
Yep.
Hell yeah, you're
Keanu
a
Reeves,
shadow.
right?
yeah,
You're a shadow.
hell yeah.
I want him to say the F word one time.
Keanu Reeves. Just fucking, fuck you, Sonic. I would pay good money for that.
Let's go, Samurai.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's so funny you brought up Mass Effect 3, Shane, because I saw a hard drive, which is like the Onion for video game stuff, like their joke headline. I saw a headline today that was on hard drive that was Mass Effect 3 ending prepared most millennials for the fact that none of their decisions in life will ever matter, which I think was just so on point.
I mean,
it's like, yep,
saying the quiet part out loud, but
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But I get what you mean. There is a kind of an awkwardness around like the. I'm of two minds about it because obviously, if you develop a game, you should make what you want to make, and people should go fuck themselves. But also, if you want to sell games
100%.
and you want to make something popular, then you need feedback from fans. Like, so it's like, how do you balance the art with the realities of capitalism and kind of just not just being able to put something out there.
Well, the only reason they got to the end was they played it, so they bought it already.
Sure. But in this case, at least, yeah, Yves Guillemot basically came out and said that that they have. Sorry, let me get the exact quote here. Is our goal is not to push any specific agenda, which is a great way to start.
Yeah.
Great way to start. Being like, okay, cool, we're not pushing any agendas. I hate to break it to you, but that's not how agendas work. Like, that's not. You don't get to be like, we're non-political. Like that's a political stance. I hate to break it to you, but everything is political. And like, I know people don't like it, but fucking that's, Anyway, yeah, he's basically commented about like the myriad of cultural issues around Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then I guess some of it is also related to Outlaws because people are like woke or it's a woman, so I'm not playing
Woman
the game.
lead.
It's a woman.
Yeah. That's
Her
like
face doesn't look amazing.
It's like I was like,
L.
man, I've seen
Ubisoft
so
L.
many fucking Twitter posts of like, hey, here's the voice actress for I can't even remember her name in the game, of the main character, and here's what they look like. What the fuck did they do? Why didn't they just use this beautiful woman's face? And it's like, bro, like I think you just need to calm down. I think you just it's a fucking video game, right? Like they don't need to be. We don't need to have anime.
I can't get off to this while I'm playing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, bro, if you want R34 of this stuff, people will make it. You know, like you don't anyway.
Yeah, the whole new weird thing, because like obviously the woke DEI crap has been surfacing a lot, but the real like just you're weird is the like this character's not hot enough.
Yeah,
like, you're weird.
Like, yeah, people need to.
People used to make fun of you.
Yeah, people need to
what
touch
are you
some
doing out in
fucking
public?
grass. Like realistically,
Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also these characters are still hot.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Like, it's not,
Have you not met human beings?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with
they
you?
haven't met human beings.
They
which is
don't-
part
They're
of the
still
problem.
attractive.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, the face,
That
the
always
face animation
baffled me.
and voice capture stuff for Outlaws is kind of rough. To be fair,
Yeah.
but that's a separate issue.
For sure.
Maybe you're into that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't-
that is the
but-
other part of it, Shane, is like they also, just like you said, they just don't look bad.
Yeah.
But like the weird obsession over
To
this
even care in the
character's-
first place, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so
Oh
weird.
my god, the fucking Horizon Zero Dawn remake faces.
Don't get me wrong. I love
Yeah.
a good waifu, dude.
Sure, me too.
I'm
yeah.
a fan of
I'm an
a
absolute
good
dude.
waifu. Yes, exactly. Same. But like to be that like obsessive about it is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what Ubisoft doesn't understand is apparently that these are a minority, guys. Don't talk
Yeah.
to them.
But I guess,
They're
but,
niche.
Don't
but,
give
but they
them
also say, oh,
life.
Outlaws sold badly. Here's something we can point to, as opposed to you made a game that's not great. You know, I think it's like
Yeah,
it
he
gets
made
very
another Ubisoft
scapegoaty
game.
in a way that is like, you know, you have to explain to your shareholders why your game didn't sell well. You can't just go, oh, we're shit. Oh, we don't know how to make a game. We go, oh, it's because of we were trying to push the woke agenda. So, or people thought we were pushing for DEI and didn't want to support us. So we need to make sure
We got some woke developers down there
Yeah.
just making woke games. We gotta.
I mean, you know, the
In
French are well
frickin'
known of being
France.
open and embracing other cultures and not being
Thank you.
snooty at all.
Exactly.
So, like, I think it's so strange to think, you know, that they could be not pushing a woke agenda, right? Yeah, Jesus. All right, these last two news stories are pretty quick. Legacy of Kain got finally announced. Like I said, it's been fully revealed. It is coming to Xbox. It was revealed at PlayStation State of Play. Probably a day one for me, assuming it doesn't work. Aspire's working on it, so I'm probably gonna maybe just wait to make sure it's not a complete fucking bug-ridden
Yeah,
mess.
maybe a day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want another, Star Wars Battlefront situation. And then also Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, which I know Shane's going to talk about. Now that it's out, Capcom's been asking about what other series we'd like to see kind of restored. I guess, like, from a Capcom perspective, put some fucking Dino Crisis in there. Come on.
I was about to say the same thing.
Right? That's
I've
that's
never even
the
played
one.
those, and I know that that's what everyone wants.
Yeah, they basically, Resident Evil, obviously they've done a lot of work with. But they haven't done a remake of the first game yet, which is surprising to me. But on the list they also have Darkstalkers, Devil May Cry, Dino Crisis, Lost Planet, Okami, which would be a really good one to do, Onimusha, Power Stone, and an option for other. So I don't know. But it also says if you'd like to see the other Dead Rising games get deluxe remasters, or if you'd rather have them make a brand new game.
I'm down for Devil May Cry to 1 through 3 to get like a
proper remake.
get a nice DMC 5 treatment.
Hell
Make
yeah.
it as fast and smooth as those. Because I mean, Devil May Cry is a great game, but it is so clunky.
1 and 2 are
So
very
clunky.
clunky. 3
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
is they kind of got the formula down, like the weapon switching and stuff. But
Yeah.
man, go playing through. Yeah, Devil May Cry 2 will definitely need a redesign for sure, because that game is kind of.
Lost Planet would be sick too.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was looking through my list of things to play, and like Lost Planet 1, I have 1 and 3 sitting there, and I'm just like, maybe I should try and go back to those. But
I've been thinking it's been in the back of my head probably the last year and a half, honestly. So obviously a while, but I've been thinking about doing a casual playthrough of the series. Just like I think I have 1 and 3 on PC, and I have 2 on PC, kind of technically.
Hmm.
Because they like pulled it from the Steam store
Ah,
because of the Games for Windows Live thing.
yeah, right,
So
right.
like they gotta work
Yep.
that out, but you can also just like find copies and find keys and stuff online, and it's fine. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have the first game as well, the Colonies edition at least.
yeah. So I'd be down for a remake of that series.
All right.
I'd play through them.
I'll quickly go through Game Pass updates. Our History Untold just came out. We also had, like we've talked about, All You Need Is Help, Legends of Mana, Trials of Mana, and We Love Katamari all got added to Game Pass. We haven't seen what's coming out for December. For October, November, or December. We got some talk around. StarCraft is coming November, and end of October is obviously Black Ops 6. But that's it. Like they're keeping their cards pretty close to their chest. I was kind of expecting that they're kind of talking a bit more about. We're a couple of days out from October, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, few things were added. Definitely recommend playing the Mana games. All You Need Is Help looks really fun too, and Katamari obviously is amazing. Leaving, we still got that big list, so you got a couple more days. Gotham Knights, Let's Build a Zoo, Loop Hero, My Time in Porter, Paw Patrol Grand Prix, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trilogy, Valheim, Walking Dead, and Walking Dead Season 2, both of them on the Windows versions.
Valheim. Did Valheim ever get achievements?
No, it didn't. It's still in game preview, which is a shame. Still not finished yet, but I think they're planning on releasing next year. I think they said they're probably not too far off, but obviously it's leaving Game Pass, which is a bit of a shame. I don't really see a lot of people talk about that game anymore. I know we got some huge buzz when it first came out, but I guess it's hard to maintain that.
Yeah. Like we talked about earlier, just in the show, the attention span of gamers is ever so thinning.
Yeah. I saw the Apollo Justice trilogy, which is the 4, 5, and 6 for Ace Attorney, are on sale at the moment at 20% off, and I'm like, oh, that's not that good of a deal, but I really, really want to play them because
you can get it for cheap. You'll get it for cheaper.
Yeah, it's true. Capcom are usually pretty good about their stuff.
And Ace Trilogy 1 is on sale right now for $10. So if you want to get it, which is better than the normal Game Pass discount.
Yes.
So if you can't beat it before it leaves, it's on sale.
Yeah, definitely grab it. We've also got our monthly theme. Well, I say monthly. We also came up with apologies, Keo, if you're listening to this. I forgot what the amazing name you came up for it was. It's a monthly theme that we run for 2 months because we want to give people time. But for September and October, it's been And Stay Down, which is for going back and finishing up your old DLC and title updates for all those games that are in your backlog. And I guess if you start a new game and it has DLC, do that too. You should be completing your games anyway, but this is just a good reminder. So, speaking of which, let's get into what we've been playing. It's been a couple of weeks since you two have been on the show, so Shane, let's start with you. You've got a few things.
Yeah, the big one was I did Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster Day 1, which, to your point earlier about pre-orders, Jake, I didn't pre-order it. I literally bought it the day it came out. I'm not doing pre-orders. But yeah, I bought that Day 1. That's the second new game I've played this year. I'm not sure what's wrong with me. But, new.
Sure.
New. It's great. It's what I was going to say what I remember Dead Rising being, but I did do
You just played
the
it.
Xbox One HD re-release like a month or so ago. So, but it's great. It's super pretty. I'm kind of blown away by how nice it looked. They didn't change the models much. Like you can tell that it is a really pretty skin over those 360 janky skeletons. The way they move and stuff, it's still weird Japanese jank. Love it. Love all of it.
Yeah.
They got rid of a lot of annoyances. There are now checkpoints every time you change a zone, so you don't have to run to a bathroom if the game crashed. You're not just boned. They kind of polished up the movement a little bit. I got grabbed a lot less playing it, whereas when I played the HD re-release, I felt like I was getting grabbed constantly. That game's so frustrating. If anyone hasn't played it yet. Completion-wise, they made it so much easier. It is probably, ignoring the 2 XBLA titles, easily the easiest completion now.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Over Dead Rising 2, Off the Record, 4, any of them. So much easier. The feared 7-day survivor is now 3 hour survivor tops.
Oh, wow.
You
Wait,
can
really?
use yeah, you can use time skip. There's time skipping in the game now.
Ah, I see.
So you grab some food, you go sit in a bathroom, you fast forward time till you need to eat it. Fast forward time till you need to eat it. And on top of that, one of the hard parts about the original game was there was a very limited amount of food in the mall. You had, I think someone calculated it's like 14 days
Yeah.
total of food if you really
If
stretched it
you didn't
out,
get hit
didn't
by
take
any
damage,
zombies or
etc.
anything,
Yeah.
yeah.
But they added a mechanic where now during that mode, random zombies will now drop boxes randomly. And those
Oh.
boxes can randomly have food in them. So you can kill a cop zombie and he drops a box, and maybe it's a minigun, or it is a fully baked pizza that fully heals you. So that's how many hours that you don't have to worry about it now. So much easier. And on top of that, if you get obviously the Mega Buster still from the first game, but if you get the Saint achievement, that gives you a magazine that makes all durability infinite. It includes ammo and guns.
Holy shit.
So that minigun I mentioned, why would you don't even need the X Buster. You just grab the minigun and just mow down zombies while you're waiting and getting through areas. It's so much easier. It's so much easier. Um, the only sticking point they kept was the freaking escort AI is such a drag still. They still get stuck on corners and doors and potted plants and just ugh. Anyway, but yeah, besides that, like the transmissionary achievement, you only need 30 calls instead of all the calls. They got rid of having to eat all the food. They got so much stuff. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. I finished it in a couple days. I think 2 days was it. Um, awesome. Definitely worth it.
That's super impressive. Yeah, I mean, as someone who loves
I'm
Dead
in.
Rising, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it.
I definitely suggest it. Maybe it'll come to
I was
Game Pass
wondering
because I know
what.
the other ones didn't they?
Game Pass would be good, yeah.
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 I was
What's
wondering
up?
what made 7-day survivor so much easier. Like I saw people's completion times just like way down. I'm like, what did they add?
How do
Like
they
what
time
did they
travel
do?
this shit? Yeah, exactly, because 14 hours is a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, time skip alone cuts down so much time. Because how it works is you go to the bathrooms and he brings up his watch, but you can still see your health bar and
Hmm.
the time and everything. And you can pick fast forward or really fast forward. And you can watch your health go down to the last cube, stop it, eat. We'll do it again, just watch it go down, and then go and refill your food as you need to. So obviously that's the main trouble of 7-day survivor was literally, I mean, I have a video of me half asleep, literally sitting there watching the time go and waiting to eat. So yeah, that changes everything. I mean,
That's great.
We love it.
God, it
We
has
love
been a bit
speed
since
up.
I've been on, haven't I? Yeah, no kidding. I gotta actually look at my list. It's been a bit since I've been on, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been.
Obviously the
Yeah.
other big one was back to the Tokyo Game Show, Legend of Mana.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is, I literally I literally woke up, looked at Facebook, and the first post was the True Achievements thing saying it was on Game Pass. I jumped out of bed and ran to my Xbox, started downloading it. I called into work and I just played. I streamed it for, I think my video is 17 hours, just nonstop. I dropped my kid off at school and I just played all day long. Um, I don't know if people have played Legend of Mana. It's weird. That's why no one really played it when it came out. If you played Secret of Mana or Seiken Densetsu 3/Trials or most of the games, it plays similar, but oh God, there's so many mechanics to it. There's
It's such a
a,
cool game.
a it is. I love the art style. I love the dialogue. It's like, oh, look, it's cute and happy, and there's happy music, but there's this monkey talking about the fragility of happiness and how he's not happy anymore. And like, it's a really weird game. And then
Well,
there's
then
like
there's
a
also the.
day,
Go ahead.
yeah.
It's your game. It's
I was
your
gonna say
game. Go ahead.
there's like a time of day, or not time of day, but day of the week mechanic. There's mana energies in you build the map. You can make your own
That's what I was
weapons.
gonna
You can make
say.
your own magic. You can make your own plants, food, pets. Once you get the ability to make golems, you can make your own NPC sidekick. It's two-player for some freaking reason. Like it's just a weird game. I blew through most of the 67 events yesterday while I was playing, and there's still some where I was like, I don't think I ever touched this one. And I know I'm not on enough, so people might not know, but I don't replay games unless there's achievements related. I don't touch games again. Uh, Legend of Mana is one of the very few games in my life that I have beaten multiple times. I just love this game. So I managed to get through, like I said, most of the events. Um, I leveled up most of my weapons, most of my special techniques I've unlocked. I finished 2 of the 4 storylines. I'm level 52, I think, 58. Um, yeah, I don't have much longer left. I did miss a boss, so I'll have to go back to fill out my monster encyclopedia. So I've got like another. I think I can burn through that and get back to that boss in like an hour and a half, maybe a new game plus if I really book it. Fun fact: the reason I missed this boss and I didn't know he was there is in the Japanese version, you got special events based on save files you had. So like if you had a Chocobo Racing save file, you get something. This one is a Saga Frontier 2 save boss
Oh, okay.
that is hidden in a level. I didn't freaking know that,
Yeah,
so I
sure.
missed him. I got past the point of no return. Oh, speaking of, if you do this game, you need a guide.
Got it. Yeah.
Period. You're going to be wandering. There are events that you can get cut out of. You can take the entire game in different orders, and you can get enemy people killed or just ruin things that you just can't. You're boned. Your save's done. So, yeah, if you do go for this, it's an easy completion, I would say, but it's a complex completion.
Got it.
So, there are some mechanics that I'm figuring out that, again, I've beaten this game so many times. I didn't even know, I didn't understand how this worked. But I need the achievement now, so I figured it out. Based on, let's see, I keep checking it all day because I really want to be the first person to finish this. I am currently. Oh, someone blew past me. Darn, I think someone finished it. Wait, that's impossible. Oh no, they didn't finish it. They just got past me. But yeah, so
All right, we better
um,
wrap this up quick then.
I'm not finishing it tonight.
Yeah.
No, ain't no way I'm finishing this tonight. But yeah, that's what else I do. Oh, and then I'm trying to wrap up Walking Dead season 2 really quick before it leaves Windows because I've done all those. So I was like, oh, I'll do this quick, and then they dropped Legend of Mana on me, so I'm doing that now. But
Yeah.
I really wanted to do Phoenix Wright. Those games are great, but I didn't have time. It's like a 50-hour completion, I think.
Yeah, and you don't
So
like. You can. I guess you can skip through a lot of the stuff if you really want to, but like, why would you? Because it is.
do that?
What's
No
the
way.
point of
That
that?
is the
Yeah,
game,
you're not
yeah.
playing the game.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all I've been up to.
$10.
Yeah,
It is. I saw that, and I was maybe,
it's a good deal.
maybe.
All right. I'll touch on my stuff. I don't have anything too exciting. Kingdom Hearts 3. So I've been talking a bit about this. I've been doing my pro code playthrough. We got to put all the restrictions where they drop your defense down to 0, and then they put your stats back to level 1, and you can't use cure magic, and you can't use form changes, and fucking they just take all the fun out of the game. For all the major bosses, I finished the base game with those on, and I finished the first part of the DLC. So now I'm on the big room where you got to refight all of Organization 13, but they're all super powered and bullshit. And so I'm doing some grinding. You got to grind. If you grind for materials and you get like the stat upgrades, like the strength boosts and magic boosts and defense boosts, those don't get reset. So every one of those you retain. So I've been grinding out defense boosts because dropping my defense to 0 means I die in about 3 hits, and I'm not good enough to dodge everything. So I'm kind of taking the Charles Atlas superpower approach and just grinding until I'm powerful enough that I can just stomp all over them. But that's going to take several more hours. So in between that, I've been playing other things to try and keep myself sane. And one of those things was Forza Horizon 5, which I know Jake has also been playing. On Jake's prodding and pushing, I went back and finally completed the Eliminator.
Nice.
Yeah, I still can't fucking believe it, to be honest. But yeah, I did one race and I got 11th. And then I got one race where I did 11th. I was driving a level 6 car and I got beaten by a level 2 car. That wasn't a good feeling. I don't know how that happened.
How did you get in a game like that?
I don't even
Give
know.
me that game. Give me that game.
Yeah, I don't know, right? Exactly. I don't know what the fuck happened. I get, again, like, some of these PC people, I'm always like, There's some shady shit going on there, I think.
I turned my console to not allow me to play with
Yeah,
PC
I think
people.
that probably would have been the smart thing to do, because I was like, you're getting a bunch of these people where I'm like there is no way that car is that fast off road. I think you need to reevaluate a little bit. But yeah, did it. So I got the eliminator, got into the final race, got a pretty good start with some good cars. Thank you, Jake, for sending over that wonderful guide where it shows you what cars to use, and I used the kind of idea of like where the end point is most likely to be. Got ready
Yeah, that
for
was the head start.
yeah, head start was great.
A game
It
changer.
got me in the right spot for it, and I was like, good. There was no one else around me. I was like, sweet, I'm gonna fucking smash it. This is my chance. And as soon as we hit like 2 seconds left, guy is speeding behind and just rams me off the road completely, and I completely wipe out. I'm like, fuck, I'm done. I'm fucked. I'm driving a level 8 car, managed to, but he's taking the road. He's like, I'm gonna take the path, and I'm gonna take the road and take the safe route. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna gun through the trees, and I'm gonna try and make it work. Because I was like, I've crashed into these enough. I know where most of them are. I crashed once, and I thought I was done. But he was still going the long route, and I still managed to get onto a dirt road, skid around, cut another corner, and fucking got it. I could not believe it. I think the other guy was like maybe like 300 meters behind me. Got it done. Achievements done. Game's done. I was literally shaking with the amount of adrenaline in my body because I just couldn't fucking believe it. And now I'm just going to sit there and wait for them to put out new fucking achievements next month, I guess, for hide and seek. So we'll see how that goes, I guess.
I hope not. Please, no, I hope not.
They said they're doing it, so hopefully they're easy.
Did they really?
No.
Yeah. So they're doing
How
some
many
sort of
game?
achievements.
How many players is that game mode? Is it boostable?
I think it's like 8. We could probably get a group together of it.
Oh, please, let's boost it. Fuck that. I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
God
yeah.
damn.
I'm so fucking done with that game. But yeah, really, really happy about it. Keo did ask in the chat if that means we need to do another fundraiser stream now where I have to agree to do some other ridiculous game, but I guess we'll see how that goes. And then just some really quick ones. I started Wolfenstein 2 again because I wanted to do the DLC, but it turns out you actually have to play through some of the campaign to get there. So I've done like the first level. I'm playing it on Death Incarnate, which is like the highest difficulty outside of Mein Leben, and it's rough and a lot. The walkthrough on TA is really, really good, but you got to be like really precise because you get killed by one enemy if you're not careful. Also did the DLC for Dead Space 2. On the sort of DLC kick, as we've been talking about for our monthly challenge. That's like a 1 to 2 hour completion. You got to play it on the highest difficulty. Died a few times. Frustrating towards the beginning, but once you kind of get a feel for it, turns out pretty good. Had a good time with it. Does make me kind of want to go back and try to get that hardcore achievement for Dead Space 2, which is where you got to get through the whole game with only 3 saves. It's not a very long game, so I think there's probably a good chance. We'll see how it goes. I'm playing a lot of other stuff at the moment, and with all this Game Pass stuff, it's hard to find the time, but yeah. And then I got dragged kicking and screaming into Borderlands 3. Now that we're basically done with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I've got like 2 achievements left. We're looking for a new social game to play with Nick and Stubby and Cameron. So we started up Borderlands 3. We finished up the story. We're doing all the kind of cleanup at the moment. They're super overpowered, so we're kind of having a fun time. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would, especially having played through pre-sequel and kind of been like, this is kind of not amazing. But I think playing that game on co-op really makes all the difference. And the story was actually okay. It's not great, and the writing's kind of rough. And my God, they don't know how to tell jokes in that game. Holy fuck, it's so not funny. like I know comedy is subjective and it's really hard to do in a video game because video game comedy is all about timing. But fuck me, do they not know how to write a joke? Like, Jesus Christ. But gameplay's solid, looks really good, plays well. I think it runs at 60 or close to it. Like, it looks really, really smooth. Having a good time playing with all the guns. They took out a lot of the kind of standard annoying achievements for doing like all the challenges. So it's a pretty straightforward list. And I got like I bought like the complete edition was on like 75% off or something. So I figured it was a good time to jump in. But that's me. So I'm kind of jumping between a lot of games at the moment. I'm probably going to load up one of the Mana games. Not sure which one yet, but we'll get there. It's a good time to be gaming because there's a lot to play. Jake, what about you? You've got quite a few things.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on, so I do have quite a bit. I took advantage of the theme and I've been working on a lot of DLC and title updates. I finished Dead Cells a few years ago. Game's hard as balls, but now they have like assist modes and stuff like that. It's still kind of frustrating. You still have to beat bosses without taking a hit. There are some bosses that like just go on forever and ever and ever, no matter how much you lowered their health to only 20% and what it like. It's still a pain. There's a lot of like parts where you can't hit the boss and you're just dodging attacks.
Ugh,
And like no matter how much assist you're giving the game, like that's still a
Still
pain
gotta
in the
get
ass.
good.
Yeah, still gotta get good. Still gotta learn the boss and learn the patterns. But managed to do the remaining DLCs without too much trouble. And then I went into the Power Wash Simulator DLCs because I had finished that forever ago, and then I started adding DLCs. That was just a relaxing, therapeutic time, as Power Wash Simulator obviously is. I just
I always want to play this.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it.
I just chucked it on, and I chucked on Dimension 20 from Dropout, and just power washed and watched people play D&D, and it was great. It was
Fantastic.
genuinely such a fantastic time. I knocked out a couple of the Human Fall Flat DLCs because I had a few of those left, and then kind of as a double whammy, Forza Horizon 5's been the racer I've been working on because I'm always working on a racing game because it's my brain off game. And all I had left really was just the DLCs. Like I finished off the Hot Wheels one and the Rally DLC, which I really enjoyed. The Rally
That was
DLC
fun.
was like fantastic, in my opinion. But then I still did the base game, so I got the base game completion because I had a few achievements remaining, and one of those was also the Eliminator. Man, I hate the Eliminator.
It sucks, right?
Like, it sucks. It's not, honestly, it's probably just like unhealthy for me, man. I was so anxiety ridden.
Yeah.
Like, I took anxiety medication because it was of how much anxiety the Eliminator gives me. It was awful. Like, my heart was just racing from, even if I was like started the match to the end. It wasn't even like I had to be in the finale for my heart to be racing. My heart is just going 100 miles an hour the entire time. So I took a heart chill out pill. It was more of a heart chill out gummy, but anyway. Eventually got it. After like a night of getting second and third and fourth and second again and getting rank like 8 cars and 9s, and I even got a couple 10s, but the times I got the 10s were like the worst. It was the worst 10. It was like the buggy 10 that just like spins out on a tree branch. Feeling pretty defeated. And then I spawn in where I do my normal spawn because I spawn in the same place every time. I spawn in the wilds. That was my start. I spawn in right literally on top of a level 9 car.
That's insane.
The first drop. It was literally, I spawn in on the road, purple smoke sitting right here. I'm like, oh sweet, a car drop. I spawn because I picked the spawn because of how many drops are around it, and usually sometimes you'll spawn in. There'll be like I've gotten like level 4s and 5s right there in that spot, and usually just drive around that spot till I get like a 4, 5, or 6, and then I go start hunting people down. But I'm like, oh sweet, okay, cool. I get to start off with a car. I wonder what it's gonna be. I was in a party with Robbie at the time. I was like, I just spawned on top of a level 9. He's like, wait, say that again? You say you spawned on a level 9 or you got a level 9? I'm like, no, I'm starting the game with a level 9 car. And it was like the second best, if not the best level 9. It was like the Focus, the Hoonigan Ford Focus.
Yeah.
So it's like just a beast of a car. Like, I was like, this has got to be it. But obviously, I was trying not to jinx it. So I go and find somebody, go hunt somebody down. Poor sucker rolls up on me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna challenge that guy because like, there's no way he's in anything even close to a level 9. There's 44 people in this game still. And he rolls up on me, and he honks at me. I'm like, oh, poor guy. So of course I just absolutely smash him. And then my level 10, while there was still 40 people in this game, was the Brocky, the second, what is notably the second best level 10 eliminator car. And so then it was literally just, this is like no shrinkage has happened, so I'm also freaking out. I'm like, I have a level 10 car, but I still the entire game to play.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing.
One bad crash and you could be out.
So I'm sitting there I am avoiding everybody. Anytime I see an arrow, opposite direction. And I'm literally like watching the car drops. I'm like, what am I going to be up against? Because I'm going to the final. I'm in the best level, like one of the best level 10s in the game. And the best level 10 is so rare. Like, who am I up against? And I see like 3 people get the worst level 10, the buggy, the one that I got second in. And then I see somebody get a Lamborghini Centurno. I'm like, okay, if it's a highway race, they got me, but if it's a dirt race, they're cooked. I have a good decent head start. The Lamborghini shoots off past me because their acceleration's obviously way better than mine. But I start catching up with them on the asphalt, which I thought was crazy. Like the Brocky just might be that busted. Like we were on just road and I was catching up. But eventually both rear off and I kind of swerve into a building and stumble and the Lamborghini just shoots off. I'm like, fuck, that's it. Like I fucked it. And I'm still like obviously going because why not? And we're probably 300 yards from the finish. And I'm like, yeah, he's got it. And then I just see his icon just stop. And I'm like, and I drive past him and he rammed right into a tree. And I just fucking flew in and got the win. And same thing, shaking, filled with adrenaline and anxiety, like to the core. Like it was a good feeling, but also like I wish I didn't have to go through that feeling.
I posted in the chat there in Discord, like you can go and check your stats on how long you've played the Eliminator and how many attempts. It took me like over 150 attempts and over 22 hours of working on that shit to get that achievement.
I think I had just a game or two prior to getting mine gotten the Play 25 accolade, so I was somewhere between 25 and 30. I think I was like 27.
That's probably where it should be, really.
And I probably spent about probably 6-ish, 5 to 6-ish hours on the Eliminator. No, because I got off work. Yeah, about 5 hours, somewhere between 5 and 6. And I'm glad I didn't have to go. And on top of this, is I am working. I usually, like I said, I play my racer as a brain off game. I play it in like an hour and a half before work, and then I play it during my lunch breaks or during slow times at work because I also work from home. So like, yeah, it's bits and pieces, but it's really hard to do that when you have to do online things.
Yeah.
So I wasn't playing it for a while. I was playing some other racers because the online I wanted to focus on. And so I was like, okay, I've done everything except like a couple Horizon Opens and the Eliminator. So this is going to be, instead of my brain off game, this is going to be my focus game. This is what I'm going to play till it's finished. I'm very close. I'm going to play till it's done. And then like the day after I start grinding the multiplayer and then a little bit of Eliminator, fucking Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster gets announced.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I want to do that more. Like, this is my trials for to being like, or not trials, but Legends of Mana. Like, when the Pixel Remasters got announced, I was like, I saw they were Steam and mobile, and I'm like, that's insane. That's a crazy strat. Like, they're coming to console. There's no shot they're not. And then I saw them coming to PS4, and I was like, okay, maybe it'll PS4 and Switch. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're skipping Xbox, but like, I don't know, still holding out hope. I do have a physical copy of Pixel Remaster's PS4 coming in October, because I don't think they'll release a physical for the Xbox, honestly. Maybe they will, but I did kind of bite the bullet finally, was like, all right, I'll get the physical and like call it. And then they announce it, and they announce it coming that day. And I was like, fuck, I have 3 days off of work. I have a long weekend because I had today off. I was like, I really don't want to be stuck playing Eliminator all weekend when Pixel Remasters just dropped.
Yeah.
So I was also feeling really upset about that and defeated about that, but we clutched it out last night. I'm stoked about it. I guess see you guys for hide and seek, unfortunately. God damn it.
Hopefully it's easy. I'm sure we'll get a group together and we'll just smash it out.
Hopefully it's easy. Hopefully it's boostable. Hopefully we can get it done. And I'm probably going to spend some time tomorrow or the next day going back to Horizon 4 to finish the Eliminator. I have the hard stuff. I have the the win without a card drop, and I have the win or the last circle in the buggy done, and obviously the win done. So it's just grinding it out, just playing it. It's honestly at this point just hoping there's enough people in my lobby so I can get the 3 eliminations in a game.
Mm-hmm.
I got some people who are going to be able to. It's so easy to get in the same game. There's like basically only one game of Eliminator running at any time now in Horizon 4 because the lobbies are so small. So it's pretty easy to get into a game with to boost with people. So I got a buddy who's going to jump in and help me get the level 5, beat a car 5 levels above you and 5 levels below you. The only other thing I'd have to really try for is a level 10, and at that point it's just grind. It's just win head to heads, get card drops, play games. Like, so it should be pretty. Hopefully not as anxiety inducing as trying to get. It doesn't help that it's like get the win and also this is your last achievement.
Yeah, for sure.
Like get the win, and this is what's stopping you from
pretty much. Yeah, it's been the albatross around my neck for fucking years at this point.
Yeah, so that doesn't help. But anyway, okay, yeah. So Horizon 5 done. I went on enough about that. But I also did Condemned on the Xbox 360. Pretty fun, chill, unoffensive game.
I don't know if I'd describe Condemned as chill, but sure.
Well,
yeah, no.
I didn't find it scary at all. Like, not even a little bit scary. I don't think
the mannequins didn't get you.
The mannequins get me every time. It's still, you turn around
every time.
Yeah,
they creep me out a little bit. I was like, fucking, why?
Oh, Mr. Tough Jake, look at him. Oh.
It's 2006. Scary.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, it would have scared because I think I played it back in like 2008 or 9, and I was like, oh, this is scary. But now I'm playing it, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't scary even a little bit, and it probably hasn't aged that well, but it was fine. It was good, and I liked the story. It was kind of cool. Well, I had some complaints about it. I talked to somebody about it, and I don't remember what I said, to be honest with you. But it was something like, well, there was just some certain things. The enemies. There we go. That's what it was. The enemies don't make any sense. Like, they're just homeless people.
Homeless people have been driven crazy by
very spooky,
noisy hubcaps on the wall. Yeah,
it's like phoned. It's like they built this game and they're like, oh wait, we need bad guys. What should we do? Oh, we're in New York. Let's do homeless people.
Pretty much.
Like, it didn't really make much sense why I was fighting.
That's why they made you a homeless person in the second game, because they realized it was kind of fucked up for a cop to be just going around and beating the shit out of the disenfranchised.
Beating up homeless? Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? Just fucking. Why am I punching this shit? Why am I shooting and beating these homeless people with a rebar? Like, what the fuck? Like, eventually there are some enemies that like, oh, this is a spooky guy who's like, he's a spooky guy.
Yeah.
Not crawling on all fours and a spooky guy, but like most of it is just like homeless people. It's like, what?
Just what you scream Blue Lives Matter and you hit them really hard with the rebar.
Anyway, so yeah, could have good old aged and then I also have Gran Turismo on here. It's been a while since I've actually got that completion, but I really wanted to talk about it because I think what happened is really cool, and it's something a lot of people in the achievement hunting community can relate to and wish they could experience in the Xbox ecosystem. And that is the last achievement that I needed glitched on me, and it did not unlock. I tried reloading some saves and popping it again naturally. I tried a fresh save and tried popping it again naturally. And I don't know what was wrong with it, but something with it just would not unlock. And the reason it happened is because you can get basically 2 achievements at the same time. One is for unlock this specific car manufacturer, and then if that's your last one, you will also get the unlock everything achievement. I got the unlock everything achievement, but I did not get the unlock the specific car achievement. I looked at the comments and somebody said like, this is a thing, this is how you can avoid it. I saw it too late. And I was like, well, this sucks. This is my last achievement. I'd spent, I mean, Gran Turismo is not an easy completion.
It's a tough one.
If you've ever done the license challenges, like they are so incredibly frustrating. So I was bummed to have that be the final hurrah of this game. While their Discord has so first off, the website, you can submit a ticket. Anytime an achievement is glitchy or bugs, you can submit a ticket. Just to let the dev know you have a bug, and they'll try to work on it. But their Discord also has a channel that is set up to be like a forum where you can make new forum posts called Manual Unlocks. And they have it all templated out. And and they have like a review process, and you say, this is kind of what happened. Like, here's what happened. Here's what I did to earn the achievement and why it didn't unlock, blah, blah, blah. Here's the achievement name. Here's the ticket I submitted on the website. And then they ask for either photograph proof, video proof, or have you upload the save, and they'll look into it for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super, super sick. And they were pretty quick about it too. Like, I just uploaded a screenshot and then a little video kind of validating, like, hey, this is my profile for sure. Like, here's the emulator I'm playing on. Here's my tag. Like, here, like, this is the thing that we're looking for. And like a day later, the guy who does all of the checking pings the dev in the Discord. It was like, hey, are we good to unlock this? A day after that, the dev's like, yep, go ahead. A day after that, the achievement showed up on my account.
That's amazing. Like,
And
I love
that was-
for a process like that.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in achievement hunting was an achievement glitching on me, proving that I rightfully earned it, and then the developer and administrators of the admins of the site jumping in and making sure I got what I'd earned, which was so awesome. I wish something like that existed on Xbox or PlayStation or Steam or anything, but I don't think we'll ever get anything like that, unfortunately, because obviously Retro Achievements is a community-driven, community-run, small homebrew everything, and it runs entirely off of people's goodwill of developing the sets. But anyway, yeah, it was a pretty cool thing that happened, and it's a reason you guys should all go Retro Achievement Hunt. Is you don't have to worry about your achievements glitching out when you rightfully earn them, because if they do, they'll just fix it for you.
Every time we talk about it, I am sorely tempted, but then I also look at my list of 200 games I need to finish.
Yeah,
I am retro achievement hunting. I'm playing Legend of Mana. I'm
Yeah,
playing Dead
yeah,
Rising.
exactly.
I'll be playing Castlevania soon. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm doing my part.
and there's my segue into what I'm currently playing and currently working on, and that is Final Fantasy Numero Uno. I bought the entire Pixel collection. Seeing them all lined up in a row on my homepage on Xbox has filled me with a certain amount of joy that you cannot understand.
Bet.
These are some of my favorite games ever made. Final Fantasy is probably my favorite series ever made. And Final Fantasy 4 is like my third favorite Final Fantasy ever. So I'm stoked to get to that one. I've actually never played 5 and 6. Those are like the two Final Fantasies I've
6 is so
never
good.
played. I'm very excited to get into it. I'm very excited to play 6.
Yeah.
I've seen it obviously played, but like kind of in passing, never paid much attention to it. So, but I know it's supposed to be phenomenal, so I'm super excited to play 6. I'm even excited to play 5 because people have like a soft spot for 5 even too.
Yeah.
I've never heard
I
it's
think
bad.
it is. Huh?
I've never heard it's bad. Just
Yeah,
Not
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard people I've heard people say 5's their favorite one, so I'm interested to see how 5 is. I think it is the only Final Fantasy. Those two are the only Final Fantasies I've never played, other than 14. Like I've even done probably 100 hours in Final Fantasy 11, which I don't think many people can say. So
That's, yeah.
uh,
I don't think many people would
So-
admit to also, so I don't know, you know.
what do you mean? No, spending 100 hours on Final Fantasy 11 is a great use of your time. That game is
Yeah.
great. Like that 100
I
hours.
almost started that.
That 100
Yeah.
hours was last November. That's when I got into the game.
That's
and
crazy.
it still holds up. I still think I'm like, man, I still have an active account. Like, cause I'm like, I want to go back to it because it's fun. It's very good. I want to beat all the story content before I play 14. Cause I want to balance out my MMOs. But yeah, I'm about, probably 3, if I had to guess, 3-ish hours away from finishing Final Fantasy 1. Very short. The first one's very short. I don't know how much longer the second one is in comparison, but I basically, if you've Final Fantasy 1 starts off where you go to this castle, fight a boss, go back, talk to the king, and then he opens the bridge up to you, and then that's like then the rest of the game opens up.
Right.
I did that last night, and then the rest of today was literally playing from that point onto like basically I'm on like the last. I'm heading to the last dungeon before, or I guess I'm heading to the last dungeon before you unlock the big bad dungeon. So like I have 2 more dungeons to go basically. Pretty straightforward list. Get all the chests, fight all the enemies, level up, get Gil, do the story beats. Nothing too demanding.
Do they have any quality of life stuff in there? Because again, those games are pretty hard.
Yeah, they do. So it seems to be based. So there's obviously a million releases of Final Fantasy One. There's NES, PS1, Game Boy Advance, PSP, and they're all different in their own kind of respective ways on how they handle certain things. Like mostly the most notable thing is like the spell charges. Like some of them use an MP system, some of them use a D&D style spell charge system. This uses the spell charge system. I think this is, and just based on the character models, I think they're going closer to the actual NES one with like a GBA skin on it, kind of. But like the character models are closer to the old one. But it also, I don't know, it's weird. It's interesting because it also plays more like the Origins of the GBA one. Anyway, quality of life things. They have like a text modernization, which is like, that's just aesthetics. They do have a new score in the original score, which is super cool to go back and swap between the two if you want. They have a toggle to run to make sure you're always running in towns and dungeons. The world map is 1 movement speed, but in towns and dungeons you can speed it up a little bit. They have no encounters that you can turn on. I have not used that. And they have a couple boosts for X. You can change the XP rate and the gil rate. You can change, it's either 1x, 2x, 4x, 0x, so you can cut it off, or 0.5, so you can have it.
Got it.
I have not used any of the XP ones, but I have used the gil one. And that's honestly, in a weird way, to make the game a little more challenging because of the way I play the game. Is every new area is since you have to 100% the Bestiary, or Bestiary, or however the fuck you want to say it, but you have to 100% the Bestiary. I will get every enemy encounter in that area, and obviously there's some that are rare, so you're like just kind of doing encounters for a while, and then eventually you're just like you're leveling up a ton, so you're starting to over level. But then what I also do is I also every new town I get to, I want to buy. I don't want to like have to come back. I want to, as soon as I get to the town, buy the shit. I want to buy the spells. I want to buy the gear. And it's kind of unbalanced. Like some of the things they'll shoot up from like you'll be in one town where a spell costs you 4,000 to buy the spell, and then the next town over it'll cost you like 20,000. So it's like not a great increment process.
Right.
So if it wasn't bad enough that I'm already grinding out to get all the encounters, if I were to again then grind for the money, I would be even more leveled. Well, it's not even there forever. It's just like I'd be way more leveled to the point where I'd be so over leveled for the whole game. So I chucked it on to 2x for like the first half of the game, and now that I'm at the tail end of the game and like my characters are already pretty much like I could probably take on the end boss at this point, I've chucked it up to 4x just to make money not an issue. But yeah, that's the only boost I've used is the gil. I've kept the XP the same. The first Final Fantasy is really easy. Like I forgot how easy the first Final Fantasy is. I have not. I think my Black Mage has died a handful of times just because the Black Mage is like weirdly the squishiest character, like squishier than the White Mage even. Because I'm running I'm running a Knight, Monk, Black Mage, White Mage, like classic combo. But my Black Mage died a few times, so the experience got skewed off a little bit. So that one levels up like 3 fights after the others. But like all my other characters like are leveling up at the same experience rate because they haven't died since the beginning of the game. So, and you can just like, I mean, it's pretty. Every boss is pretty much the same. Knight, Monk, go do damage. White Mage cast Protect on everyone and Invis on everyone. Black Mage cast Haste and Temper on the fighters, and then all of a sudden your Monk does 1,600 damage in one hit, and like the late game bosses only have like a 2,200 health pool. Like it's the first Final Fantasy. Sure, like they were figuring.
Yeah, they didn't even know if they're going to get another game out of this. They were just like, this is the one,
literally. So, but and then also, if you've never played the first Final Fantasy, so if you're used to Final Fantasy, because I've learned a lot of people like haven't played the first Final Fantasy. They played 4, they played 6, they played 3, 5, all the PS1 ones, the new ones, but like no one's went back to just Final Fantasy 1, and especially 2. But if you're used to the grandiose storytelling that is Final Fantasy, That pretty much only started existing 2 onward.
Right.
Final Fantasy 1's story is best described as, if you've ever played like the Game Boy, the old Legend of Zelda games, even I think Ocarina of Time had this. And every single Legend of Zelda game would have like a fetch quest where like you'd go to this guy and you get an item, and then you'd have to go find who you need to talk to
the
give
trade-up
that item
quest.
to get a new. That's Final Fantasy 1. It's just a giant trade-up quest. Like, the
really is.
Start
characters
with a
are all
paperclip, and I
disconnected.
want a sword that can kill a god by the end of this.
Yeah, literally, seriously. Like, you're just like, oh, I found this item in a chest in a cave. Oh, here's this an NPC I've never talked to ever, and I'm gonna talk to him now that I have this item, and he's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give you this item, and then because you have that item, you can go do that. It's literally a giant trade-up quest.
That's great.
Yeah, but it's still great, still worth it. It's about a 15 to 20 hour completion. Not too bad.
That's pretty good.
And if you use boosts, it's probably even. If you 4x boost your guild, 4x boost your XP, it's gonna be even faster.
Did you do the other stack of that game on Xbox?
No,
Like the first Final Fantasy
one.
Yeah.
No, I had a Windows Phone and I had that game, and I don't have the
Same.
Windows Phone anymore, so I don't have that game anymore, and I don't care to track it down too much. I don't think.
That was actually my first time finally finishing that game because I'd played the original
Really?
on NES. Like me and my friend had the map laid out on the floor and everything, and it just never got quite to the end of it. I don't think we even got to the what do you call
Keep
it,
talking,
level up
please
or
hold.
whatever when they get bigger. But I never got to that part either.
Man, I need to I have to buy this collection because I really do want to experience. Like, I feel like I'm missing a big piece of history by just not really either remembering or experiencing a lot of these games.
I went to go get my
see-
cartridge of Final Fantasy 1 on the NES, but I forgot I just packed everything because I'm moving in a couple weeks. So,
Where it's like just literally an axe and a sword on the front with a globe, and like, hey, look at this
Yeah,
great game you
yeah.
can play.
but I got those retro game cases, so it's in a nice like case, like full body
very
case
nice.
too. So, yeah, I've played the NES one. I've never beat the NES one because that's a whole nother story. Like Final Fantasy 1, super easy. Final Fantasy 1 on the NES, one of the toughest RPGs you'll ever play in your life.
Wow. Okay.
Like, yeah,
Huge
it's
pain.
a very stark transition for sure. So in Final Fantasy 1 on the NES, you basically have to grind for like a good 3-4 hours, I would say, unless you really know the strats before you go
Yeah.
fight the first boss.
Right.
And there's no auto targeting. So if all of you attack the same enemy, if somebody gets that kill, the rest of your party will just try to attack that enemy that's not there
it's
anymore.
Golden
All
Sun
whiff.
stuff back in the day. Yeah, I remember that.
So,
Wow.
so it's and the scaling's just terrible. It's riddled with bugs. Like so many spells literally just don't do anything that are supposed to do things. They just don't do anything. But I beat it on the GBA. I beat the Origins version. I want to do the PSP remake because they just look really pretty. But I'm about to beat the Xbox one, so I'm about to beat Final Fantasy 1 for the third time.
Nice.
Yep.
And I hope they go on sale, so I have a good reason to buy them.
The good reason to buy them is they're just Final Fantasy 1 through 6.
Yeah, I know.
It's just
always
worth it.
Struggle so fucking hard to justify.
It's one of the
everything, but I will. I probably will just.
Yeah, I hear that.
It's one of the few games in the last. I mean, get it now while it's on its launch sale. Like it's usually $15 more.
Yeah,
US.
actually, I might just do that then. Yeah, it's a good.
It's one of the few games I actually just like didn't even have to think about the full value or the full price of. I was just like, yep, put it on the card. Put it on the card, set to download, start it right now.
That's how I would
Drop
have been if
everything.
Recommended to get put on Game Pass day one. I'm shocked it did that, but I would have paid.
Yeah.
I don't care, 50,
Yeah.
60. I would have bought it. So
Yeah. Yep. No regrets.
All right.
And that's what I've been up to.
Great. We've been playing a lot, talking a lot. It's great. I'm glad that we've been all gaming so much. It's really good to hear. And there's so much. Sounds like there's a lot of good stuff that we still want to get into as well. So probably busy for the next couple of months. All right, leaderboard. So, if you would like to join the leaderboards, let me know. If you're on True Achievements, we have a Hall of Gamers leaderboard where we look at it each week to see how people are doing. In third place, we have Basham with 12,655. We have Jimbot UK in second with 37,535, and a Grey Shark with 46,590. Grey Shark's been really pushing recently, getting a lot of stuff done. I know there's a lot of title updates that have come out for stuff, but oh boy, people have put up a lot of score in a week. That's some crazy numbers.
And me and you are tied, Neo.
Are we really? Oh.
Yeah, 13th, 14th.
Okay, we need to. Maybe I might need to get some points after this just to make sure. Can't be having that.
Wow.
All right. We also have completions. Shane, do you want to read through those?
I'm gonna get that window up because I thought you might ask. All right, so we got GT the Moon Zom finished Psychonauts 2. Natalinator finished Madden NFL 19, 21, and 22, getting that foosball in real good. And Trivial Pursuit Live. Left 4 Legacy did PUBG and Minecraft, one of the versions, I'm sure. Left 4 Dead Pills Here did Walking Dead, the final season, and Genesis Noir. Spoice did Baldur's Gate 3. Mikhail KV did Gotham Knights. I really wanted to do that one too. Mike IDV did Fast and the Furious Crossroads, and Rapture did Fall Guys.
Now that they've fixed it, thankfully. All right.
It's broken again?
Yeah.
I forgot Fall Guys was on the next one.
Yeah, that was a hard completion.
Yeah, right.
Actually.
My first ever game of Fall Guys I won.
That's crazy. That's insane. Do you know how hard I had to work on those wins? Holy shit.
It was so funny because I never played it. My friends were like, they played it up. And first fucking game I won. I was like, my friend had played so many dozens of hours and
like,
never had a
hard?
win.
This is easy.
Never had a win. So of course I was rubbing it. I'm like, this game's easy.
Baby
Guys.
games.
Like, I don't,
That's so
yeah.
funny.
Like, I don't get it. I don't see why you can't get a win.
We've also got the word challenge, everyone's favorite competition, where I pick a game and you go on our Discord and guess what the game is on the word challenge channel. And if you get it right, you win a prize, usually like $20 New Zealand or something. I'll send it to you on PayPal. Or you can not, and we'll just use it for the next prize. So I know some people have been great and said, "Hey, don't worry, I'm in it for the game, not for the money," which is I can appreciate that. But I come up with a new clue each week. You get 1 guess per hour. The first clue was water is your best friend. Second was you can use 5 different varieties of weapons. Third clue is this game has 2 different endings.
It's not a good third clue.
It's a great clue. That is a great fucking clue.
I thought those clues were supposed to get easier. This does not narrow down anything.
Trust me, the next clue, I was between 2 clues. Next week's clue is basically going to give it away. This game has 2 different endings. That's it. So there's no third ending, and there's not like a singular ending. There are 2 very distinct endings in this game. Well, yeah, we'll go with that. But I don't want to get too specific. But if people complain enough, I'll do a really easy clue for next week. But I've seen some good guesses. But people need to remember that water being your best friend is a very vague statement. I've seen a lot of people talking about like swimming games and stuff, which is not necessarily wrong or right. But I've seen raft being mentioned like 5 times. It's not raft. Okay, guys, I think
There's an obvious one here that I'm surprised hasn't been mentioned. Maybe it has. I'm still gonna look.
But yeah.
I'm not gonna say what it is. Just kidding. Cameron guessed BioShock.
BioShock, yes. So again, BioShock's also a good one too. Although I argue about water being your best friend in that game because it's also kind of scary.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that's not true, but like, it has 2
spooky.
very distinct endings and
That's
5
true.
varieties of weapons sounds kind of right. Like
Yeah.
5 or maybe it could be 7.
I think it's, yeah. So remember that when it comes to variety of weapons, there are exactly 5 varieties. So if there's more than that, it's not it. And if there's less than that, it's not it. How you define varieties of weapons maybe is a bit vague. So that's intentional. I didn't want to make it too easy. But I have a clue cooking up for the next one that people... we'll see, actually. I'm sure a lot of people who listen to this podcast have played this game, for sure. This is not some weird, obscure shit that I'm pulling out of my ass.
Wave Race 64.
That's the one. Yeah, you nailed it. It's not Hydra Thunder either. But yes, get in your guesses, and next week's clue is going to be a bit of a giveaway, I think. At least I think so. We'll see what the rest of the community thinks. Jake, do you want to read through the Patreon?
Absolutely, I want to read through the Patreon. The Patreon, the show is made possible by viewers like you. doing the PBS thing.
Yeah.
I don't guess you guys don't have that.
No,
Australia.
we don't have that, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Anyway, so thank you, Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Natalinator, Mad Lefty, Admiral Awesome, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pwn, Cavaliers 07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, McLovin Legend, Mace J, Left for Legacy, and McNulty. We appreciate you for keeping the lights on.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. Patreon.com/HallofGamers if you want to come help support us. Any extra content that we do, we put out there, either exclusively or at least early. And that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the show. We've done the show live on Twitch. As I said at the beginning, Xbox Hall of Gamers. Come say hi, hang out in the chat. We love our community and we love the community interaction. Have we got anything we want to shell? Shane, you got anything going on?
No, not really. Firehawkd.com. You can find links to all my stuff.
Great. Jake, what about you?
Same as always. You can find me in the Hog Discord. You can find me at AHA, Reptarnics 3000 on pretty much every gaming platform. Just Shake SD on most of the socials. I'm pretty easy to find.
Fantastic. And I'm Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord as always. A huge thank you to Jake and Shane for staying up late and jumping on the show with me. And thank you for all for listening. That's been episode 142. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Adios.